You're watching the PCTV Network, your hometown station. We're home for you. Featuring shows you'll only see here, like Financially Speaking with Jeff Bush, Trips and Tips with Adele Klein, Legal Talk, sponsored by OWM Law, Dollars and Cents, brought to you by St. Pedro and Associates, Spotlight on Pottstown Schools, Car Stories with Mike Yanessa, Living on the Edge with Dr. Russ Moyer, Dean Liette Show, produced by D&H Productions, Motormouth, sponsored by the Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles, plus the very best in local sports action, only on the PCTV Network. Channels 22, 28, and 98, streaming all content 24/7. The PCTV Network, more than the sum total of all its parts. Stay tuned.
Your Honda store is Piazza Honda of Pottstown, where our customers come first because we love our customers and take care of them before, during, and after each and every sale. Piazza Honda of Pottstown always has an impressive inventory of new Honda coupes, hatchbacks, SUVs, sedans, trucks, and vans. The Piazza Advantage program puts us above all others with our 100% price guarantee. Whether you're looking for a new Honda coupe or hatchback, SUV or sedan, truck or van, your Honda place is Piazza Honda of Pottstown, 629 North Lewis Road, and at piazzahondapottstown.com.
At the batting cages here, we cover all the bases from young kids to adults. We handle slow softball, fast softball, slow baseball, and fast baseball. I have 9 cages, 4 softball. I have 2 slow baseball cages and 3 other baseball cages, medium, fast, and very fast.
Limerick Bowl is gearing up for the summer bowling season with an incredible offer. Join any summer bowling league and practice free all season. That's right, practice all summer for free. Bring the family, bring your friends, or meet new ones and start a team today. Beat the heat this summer with America's #1 participation sport at Limerick Bowl. Daily specials, weekend glow bowling, and the area's most affordable birthday party packages. Call today about our summer league special or go online anytime at limerickbowl.com.
Rohrbach Family Dentistry is home of the $888 dental implant, not a crown. Why pay $1,600 to over $2,000 for dental implants when Dr. Rohrbach's fee is only $888? Rohrbach Family Dentistry has cash and family discounts for patients without insurance and convenient Saturday and evening hours. So if you're looking for a dentist's office, look no further than Rohrbach Family Dentistry, 562 High Street, Pottstown.
It's Earth's Little Heaven, the PCTV Network. PCTV Network, your hometown station. We're home for you. That's our slogan. But I dare adjust, and it's the truth, and it fits best. The PCTV Network, your #1 source for local sports, with your favorite hosts, Bernie, Dave, Al, and Scott. The PCTV Network, we're home for you. It's more than a slogan, it's all true. Local programming, stream 24/7. The PCTV Network, it's Earth's Little Heaven. The PCTV Network. Check out channels 22, 28, and 98. Tune in, it's sure to be great. The PCTVnetwork.com, The PCTVnetwork.com, The PCTVnetwork.com, Make sure you support PCTV Network, PCTVnetwork.com, your hometown station.
From downtown Pottstown, the PCTV Network proudly presents the Pottstown Criteria. Hello, everybody. I'm Al Ganoza, joined by Steve Carabatos. And Steve, we haven't done this in a while here, and this is the revival of something that looks like it. I'm sorry that it stopped to begin with.
You just saw the leader go by in the race that's going on. This is a fun race, Al. This is one of those races where There's high-speed action going into the turns. There's high speed coming down the straightaways. These bikers are going to approach speeds of 40 miles an hour as they're coming down the front stretch. You know, High Street, the speed limit is 25 miles an hour.
Nobody's going to get ticketed, though, right?
No, the cops are out all over the place, but they're not ticketing anybody today. Today is a day where the bikers run red lights, and they're allowed to.
And we were talking about the level of racers here. These are some pretty good guys. These are some professionals, right? Some guys you might see up at the Lehigh Valley Velodrome. Too.
And girls, what I add.
Girls.
One of the races we're going to see is a ladies' race. And there are going to be two favorites in this race. Elspeth Hewitt and Colleen Gulick are going to be dueling at it. They duel at it at the Lehigh Velodrome all the time. Every Friday night they're going at it against a whole bunch of other professionals. They'll be going at it here. They're probably our odds-on favorite for the women. On the men's side, we have a big field. We have about 24, 25 riders, unless anybody added in later. You're going to see the bikers coming back behind us here in the current race going on. The field is headed up by Thomas Detweiler and Ryan DeWald. And in Monty Python, there's a movie where they say, I'm not old, I'm 37. No. Those guys are 37 years old. They're going to be racing against men nearly half their age. Wow. We're going to have the likes of 20-year-old Kyle Penny is going to be in this race. But one of the guys you want to watch out for, David Casale and David Dawson. Two Davids are going to be going at it. These are guys that win more than 10% of their races. When you put that many people who win 10, 20% of their races together, something's got to give.
I can't wait. It's already exciting to see these guys whiz around this corner. And we'll be back with the Pottstown Criterium after this.
An orthopedic institute is more than a name. It's a unique care model based on quality and compassion. Decades devoted to research and clinical trials, the development of new surgical techniques, and physicians who outperform the field. What you get from our institute is more options and more answers. For your orthopedic care, think Rothman first.
New office and 7-day urgent care now open in Limerick.
For over 50 years, O'Donnell, Weiss, and Mattei has helped our clients resolve a wide variety of legal challenges. OWM Law provides legal representation to clients throughout southeastern Pennsylvania. Our attorneys and our highly trained support staff utilize the latest technology and resources available to satisfy the needs of our clients. O'Donnell, Weiss, and Mattei, delivering the highest level of professional service.
Gehringer Mechanical has operated in this community for over 28 years. Based right out of Boyertown, we work, live, and play right where you do. Big enough to handle any of your electrical, plumbing, heating, or air conditioning needs, yet small enough to offer the personal touch that a customer expects. I invite you to experience the level of service we can provide at Gehringer Mechanical.
We did this race many years ago. But.
Okay. Guys, I'm here with Dawn Gulick. She is the co-director, and you helped revive the Pottstown Criterium?
We did this race many years ago. I'm going to say about 12 or 15 years ago, for about 10 years. And it kind of fell by the wayside for a number of reasons. But about a year ago, one of the folks from Sunnybrook Cycling, Ken Picardi, had contacted me and said, we have some interest in reviving this race. Could we do this? We were kind of too far into last year's season. And the race calendar was already set. So we said, we'd like to do this with you, but we need to literally look for the next year. So we started planning last fall, and I got to say that the Pottstown Borough could not have been more supportive. Amazing change from a decade ago. A huge difference. Businesses are being responsive. We still need to get better, but it's the first year back. And we need to kind of educate people as to what's out here. I mean, look around. Look at all the people. We got 300 racers here. We got over 50 kids racing. We got, this is awesome. And people need to see what's going on to capitalize this as a business. But, by the end of the year, we had our race permit, before the town and borough council support. And then it was a matter of fundraising. It's a very expensive adventure.
Is that probably the most difficult part, in addition to publicizing? Although now with social media, it might make your job a little easier.
You're right. Social media does help a lot. But we had Bike Sport and Sly Fox step up. they stepped up right from the beginning, and they are offered to cover the prize list, and then Older Brothers jumped in with them. So we've got the 3 co-sponsors, and then after that, Matt Green from Glocker has put the race up on the billboard on Route 100, hooked us up with advertising people. We've had all kinds of other sponsors come in. The Hill School has been wonderful. You see their name is on all the numbers. We see, I'm going to forget people, I know, but even McDonald's and Dairy Queen helped out with the kids' races. The farm organization in Pottstown did a lot, to kind of promote this and help with the helmets. Exelon Energy helped out with the helmets. So, it's a group effort, and idea that, we're really bringing something to Pottstown that is a healthy and exciting alternative, to sitting on your cell phones or playing video games.
And you want this to continue for however long or forever?
Well, I'll reserve judgment on
that.
Okay, give me a couple weeks till this is over, and we can diffuse. But people are excited. I can tell you that the initial thought from the town of Pottstown was to make this part of the NRC race series, the National Racing Calendar. That has a minimum prize list of $15,000. We're giving away $3,500 today. Okay. So we have to ramp this up big time in order for it to get to that level. So we're on baby steps right now. Maybe something like the Westchester Twilight Criterium. That's something that, maybe, we aspire to be like. That's a race in August every year, and that's a huge pro race. And racers come from all over the country for that. But, first year back, we couldn't be happier with 300 riders and, all the sponsorship and support we've had and the borough support. Police were amazing shutting this course down. Just amazing.
Okay. Dawn, thank you so much. All right, good luck.
Thanks so much for doing this. We really welcome PCTV. We're happy to
be
involved with you guys, and we look forward to seeing your broadcast.
All right, thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Bye now.
Take care. Good luck.
Just down the street, there's a hardware store with great tools, products,
and expert advice.
We've got everything you need because we know the community and we know our customers. So next time you have a home improvement project,
drop by
your local True Value hardware store. True Value.
Start right.
Start here.
Your True Value expert is A.D. Moyer in Gilbertsville and Pottstown. On the web at admoyer.com.
So I want to take this opportunity just to let you know that Chestnut Knoll at Home has 2 offices, one in Phoenixville and one in Gilbertsville. We offer part-time and full-time positions. We have a 401k program that goes into effect 1 year after your employment. We also offer paid time off. We offer flexibility of hours and the fact that you're out there making a difference in someone's life.
The feeling that they matter in this world, especially the elderly. I think they're so overlooked sometimes, and if they don't have family members, and you might be the only person that touched their life that day with a smile.
Flexibility is great because I'm a college student. I'm meant to be an RN, and they work around my schedule really well. I give them enough time to when it's going to change, and they put in for me. I have no problems. And that's a great aspect to the company as well.
Single mom, so I could still see their sports, still be there for dinner, still be around on the weekends, still pick up a couple hours here and there. But ultimately ended up just making this is what I was supposed to do, work in home care.
And we're here in High Street with Steve Oler of Oler Brothers. Steve, thanks for getting involved in this. Great to see you help bring this back. What made you guys decide to get involved?
Generally, Oler Brothers is interested in supporting local community events, but I've been an avid cyclist for years. It's one of the sports that isn't seen very much by the local population. Of course, the Tour de France and things like that.
Yeah.
But having a criterium come to your local city is a pretty cool thing to get involved with.
Yeah, and I got some 300 entries, which for the first year, it seems to be pretty good.
Yeah. Well, the great weather helps.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Well, we caught a break there, didn't we? It was not humid?
And I've heard the cyclists really like the roads of Pottstown because they do like the wide streets. It makes it easier to go fast and it's safer. So they really have enjoyed it today so far.
Did you have any thoughts of entering any of the races or not?
I rode in one race years ago, and it made me realize I shouldn't enter again. So.
I'll tell you,
too fast.
I was shocked at how fast they come around the corner here.
Yeah. Even the 55-plus category, they're averaging 27 miles an hour. So these younger guys, through the whole race, are averaging over 30 miles an hour. So it's pretty quick for 40 minutes.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Steve. Well, great to see you again. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
I want a professional heating company with heating and cooling service plans.
A company that considers my needs.
I want the security of price protection plans.
Along with 24-hour emergency service and heating oil delivery.
I want comfort.
I want Ollard Brothers.
Ollard Brothers, still family and still local. Ask about our America-friendly and environment-friendly agri-fuels, bioheat, and biodiesel.
When it comes to heating
and the environment,
there's only one choice.
Thanks, Ollard Brothers.
This is Ginny Politz, owner of Bike Sport in Trap. And Ginny, you had a good line. I asked, what brings you here? And you said?
The fun of the race, the festivities of the day, the excitement of the racers.
And a bike race has to have a bike shop.
Yes, right.
Tell us a little bit about Bike Sport.
26 years old. We opened in 1990. We've been in Trap since 97. And we're everything from a family bike shop to a racing bike shop. We do everything.
If you could, now, if I'm starting riding a bike, I probably want something a little less elaborate than what these guys have. Absolutely. But do you have if somebody wants to go and race, do you have that kind of stuff?
Sure do. Yeah. A lot of these bikes are very customized, so it's not like you walk in the store and we have,
They're coming a little wide, aren't they?
A bunch of bikes like these. But we do custom orders for you, make sure it's fitted to you, and that it's the right bike for you. Whether you're riding trails or racing.
Then you have trail bikes too, I would assume.
Yeah, of course. Mountain bikes, trail bikes, road bikes, kids bikes, cyclocross bikes, everything you can imagine.
And I imagine when you have something like this in town, people come out and see this, they might tend to stop by your store a little more often,
sure,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, because we advertise the excitement of the day on our Facebook page and our website. So we get people to come out, and there's a lot of people here, considering this is the first year that the race has been happening in downtown Pottstown.
And Jenny, explain your location and where you guys, how they can see you.
We're on Ridge Pike in Trap, which is close to Ursinus College.
Yes.
Very close to Collegeville.
Okay. Are you pretty close to the Dairy Queen there or not?
We're right next to the Dairy Queen.
I thought so.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And there's a beer store attached to us. So
got everything
that's
you need.
Trap beer and soda. So, yeah, we're
Okay.
here having a great time. I hope lots more people come, because this goes on until we probably won't get out of here till 9. So come on out.
Okay. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you. Take care.
Hello, I'm Wayne Klein, President and owner of Klein Transportation, along with my wife Adele. We've been providing passenger transportation since 1957 for students going to Daniel Boone School District and charter business since 1979. Allison, our daughter, is actually the representation of the 4th generation of the Klein family.
We invite you to join us to go to many fun travel destinations. Our motto is, half the fun is getting there. We are so proud of all of our staff of travel specialists. Whether you contact us by phone or online, we help you choose a Klein tour, a casino trip, or to schedule your transportation by motor coach or school bus.
Let's step on board and choose our next destination.
This is Stacy Woodland, the executive director of the YWCA Tri-County area. Yes. You guys are just literally a stone's throw away.
Yes.
What made you decide to be the sponsors here?
So one of our core programs, we do early education and a lot of youth programs, so we love promoting health and wellness and fitness for youth and especially girls. And so when Dawn approached us, we were really excited to join in the effort to bring the bike race back to Pottstown and really do everything we can to promote just being fit and healthy.
And I've noticed a lot of kids out here, too.
Yeah, so there's about to be a kids' bike race shortly, and so we're really happy to be sponsors of that.
Have you noticed any familiar faces?
So I've seen a bunch of the kids that come to our after-school program and our summer camp, and I'm happy to see them. I'm going to leave before the race starts so I don't have to pick a winner and root for anybody specifically.
Okay. Oh, Stacey, thanks. This is a great day, too.
It's a wonderful day. The weather's great. I'm glad it wasn't yesterday when it was kind of rainy.
Yeah, a little sticky.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Stacey, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Want to know who walked in your door while you're not at home? Zarstar does that. Zarstar offers complete remote monitoring and control of your home security. Can I manage all my properties at once? Certainly. One app, one location, and Zarstar does it all. Save energy by remote controlling your thermostat. Zarstar can do that. Complete home monitoring with interactive control through alarm.com. Security systems tailored to your specific needs. Zarstar Security, serving the Tri-County area. Locally owned and operated. Call Dave Zarnecki for all your home and commercial security needs.
And welcome back to the Pottstown Criterium. And we are getting set here for a little fun break in the action here. This is going to be the kids' race. Chance to slow down the pace a little bit and let some of the little guys have at it on High Street. And well, no, I guess they're setting them out in different groupings here.
Looks like that one guy has truck tires.
Yeah. He's throwing a block on him. And our winner, number 991, a young lady goes firing across the finish line. It looks like they're getting them lined up down there. There's Dawn Gulick getting them all set up. Great interview with her earlier, Al.
Thanks, Steve. You know, she, you can just imagine what's on her plate, and she has not stopped since we've gotten here. Just a lot going on. What an effort.
Yep.
Nice job.
Yep, absolutely. She's done a great job. She answered all my emails in quick order, got me all the information I wanted, even gave me a shot to race earlier today as well. So I'll be talking a little bit about my laps around this track and what it felt like to actually be on a bike seat, on the saddle.
And Dawn's, well, her daughter's racing in the next race, right?
She is, yep. And probably, in my opinion, the favorite to win it, but you know, we'll see what some of the other ladies have to say about that.
Steve, did you notice that it seems like the wind is at the back of the racers as they come down High Street?
Yeah, it's absolutely correct. Where I found the headwind to be the worst was actually as I turned up onto Evans, and then especially into Walnut. And here they come. Oh, they were tearing down. I underestimated how fast these young people can go. And across the finish line, number 983. I unfortunately don't have an entry list.
Oh,
for
and we've got a
people.
spill.
Oh.
He's out. He's right up.
Nice. Nice. And Buddy helping him up there, that's a good thing. So here's the finish. And up, yep, little collision there. Just cross paths. Got to hold your line, hold your lane. Go straight.
So you were saying earlier, Steve, we could see a collision in one of these races, or it's more in the earlier races?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're more likely when you have people with less experience, like people who race in my category, Category 5. But But even in that race, it was a nice, safe race. It's really, look at this young man just firing across the finish line.
Those
Wow.
little legs go.
You know what? Enter him into the men's final. They should give an automatic berth to some of these young people into that final. So as I was saying, yeah, it's typically in the the guys who really don't know what they're doing, don't know what to expect, don't know how to hold a line, but we haven't seen any of that today. It's been good, clean racing, good, safe racing. A lot of communication going on out there. You're not going to be able to hear it necessarily on our speakers, but a lot of talking going on, a lot of give and take. People saying, "Hey, I'm going to cut inside. Give me the room," or I'm going to go outside so you can go ahead and cut inside.
Yeah, a lot of kids. That's good to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't start cycling until I was in my mid-30s. I mean, I rode as a kid, but gave it up and went back to it in my mid-30s. And there's our winner.
Does the velodrome have beginner programs if you want to start for racing? Is that a good place to start?
Absolutely a great place to start. What a lot of people don't know is the velodrome is actually it's actually a park. So when it is not in use, when there is nobody training on it, you're welcome to go out there on your bicycle as long as you're wearing a helmet, and you can rip around that track all you want.
No, I didn't know that.
And they do have beginner programs for kids. I mean, there's some kids, in my opinion, not even tall enough to walk yet, and they're out on bikes. And then on Friday nights when they have their special features with the professionals, they'll during some of their intermissions, they'll show some of the graduates of their beginner programs come out and ride, and it just tugs at your heart.
That's the way my legs look when they. Man, that little guy's pumping those legs fast.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Probably pulling too short a gear there. He needs to go to something a little bit steeper. But here, a young lady being encouraged here by one of the riders, right in front of me.
I think we got one more rider up there.
Is that what we have? That's one of those bikes where a balance bike, I guess it's called. No pedals, you just kind of learn to balance on it. Yeah, they've been out here racing since noon today. It's 5:30, and I got to hand it to them. On the brochure that they gave me, they listed that the kids' races would start around 5:30. I mean, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, seldom you see a bunch of races or a tournament where things start on time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and first time for the crit race back here in Pottstown in a long time, at least a decade, and it's being run beautifully. I haven't heard any complaints. People know what they're doing, where they're going. It's just been a great time. And you don't have to be an avid cyclist to be enjoying this. I mean, one of the things you're not going to see, unfortunately, just because of our inability to get cameras on some of the back roads here that they're riding on, is the amount of people sitting outside their houses just cheering the racers on.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, at first I thought, it's just people that they planted out there, but they're actually the people who live there are there cheering us on. And, even when I lost the peloton, there's a lady running with her baby.
Now that's a good mommy.
Now that's a woman who's probably seen the Tour de France several times and seen riders just run across the finish line with their bikes when their bikes break down at the end. Never seen a mom carry her her racer. So we'll be back with the women's race here after this.
Yakalak Construction, serving the Tri-County area since 1946. Family owned, free estimates, all types of concrete work, sidewalks, foundations, steps, curbs, and more. Professional service and quality. Give them a call, 610-323-8134.
And we're back watching the ladies line up here, and you see Colleen Gulick is actually going to be one of the racers, but she is also one of the race coordinators here, and she's going over the ground rules with the ladies here. I'm sure ground rules that they've all heard numerous times before, but got to make sure that you go over everything, explaining to them about if you go down a lap, to withdraw from the race because basically you're out of it at that point. If there is a problem within the first 20 laps or so, if they have a puncture on a tire, they can pit and they get a free lap basically to repair the tire. They have what's called a tire in, tire out rule here, where you turn in tires that you are willing to use in the event of a puncture or a damage to a spoke or something like that. You can come in and basically get a free lap. But once they're down to 8 laps to go, that goes out the window. So,
Steve, how many we got there? Looks like maybe a dozen, 15?
yeah, it was interesting because only 5 pre-registered, which is funny because they pay the top 10 money here. So I was kidding around with my wife. I said, Beck, you ought to enter this race and win 6th place money. Just go out there, ride to the end of High Street, be done. She said, I can't even ride to the end of High Street. Whatever, take home the 6th place money. But they did manage to get some other ladies out here. But the one you're going to be watching is number 602 right here in the fourth part of your screen. That is Colleen, and we'll be talking a lot about her. And if the name is familiar, I'll explain why during the broadcast. This is someone you may know if you're from the Pottstown area. There is a pit area, and that's where they've already turned in their tires ahead of time. They'll have their names on them so that they know whose tires are who, because a lot of these look alike. A lot of them run very similar equipment.
What color shirt does Colleen have on?
She has it's white on the side with blue and red kind of checked.
Okay.
So right there in the four part of your screen, and you'll probably see her near the front. She and Elspeth Hewitt should be near the front much of the race, but don't count Caitlin Matan out either. Try and have the whole entry list for you here in a moment. As I said, we only had 5 entrants prior to this, so a lot more than that now. So I'll try and get the names of some of these ladies as they go out. And this race starts down High Street, works its way down to Evans. They make a left, and then we'll lose them for a little while. And we'll be right back. Call the action in just a moment. You're watching the PCTV Network.
You got ladies.
You're welcome.
Anything else I can get for you?
Yeah,
Your style, that's right.
Otherwise, we're good. Thank you. Yeah.
Lily's Grill, 115 East High Street, Pottstown. Modern American cuisine at reasonable prices.
Enjoy.
And you're looking at beautiful Hanover Street. And you'll be seeing the ladies come across here in just a moment. You're watching the Pottstown Criterium Bike Race. Back in Pottstown, long overdue, long overdue. Perfect place to run a bike race like this. Also known as crit racing. If you go to YouTube and check out crit racing, probably one of the things you'll see is fantastic crashes and fantastic finishes. We hope to see a fantastic finishes today, not so much the crashes. And here comes the field, and they're going to be pretty much stacked together. Very little reason to push hard early on, wear yourself out. It's a 20-lap race. These ladies generally are flying solo. What we'll see in the men's race later on is several teams that'll be working together. We'll talk a little bit more about team racing when that happens. as they come through the turn. There's nobody in any great hurry to do anything. And as I say that, it's a little bit of an attempt at a breakaway.
Steve, am I wrong? Are they trying to draft the motorcycle?
They can try all they want. I talked to the motorcycle driver just a few minutes ago, and I said, you know, try as they may, they just can't seem to catch you.
But does it help when he's close to them? Does it help cut down some of the wind resistance, or can't they get that close?
Well, it absolutely helps, but they can't get that close.
Okay.
There is a form of racing called Kieran racing, in which they do actually follow a motorcycle literally within inches of his tire.
Okay.
And each lap, the motorcycle, you see this at the velodrome. And, you know, I say the velodrome, and it's almost a good reason to use the word "the," because there are only 27 operating velodromes in the United States. We just happen to have one within an hour of Pottstown. We kind of take it for granted that they're everywhere, but they're not. And at the velodrome, Kieran racing is one of the most popular forms of racing, and it basically ends up being 6 racers all start together from a stop. The motorcycle comes by, they have a shotgun start, or a gun start, and then they basically jockey for position and try and be the bike behind the motorcycle. And then each lap, for 4 laps, the motorcycle increases his speed by about 2 miles an hour until he's doing about 30 miles an hour, and then he peels off and they have a 2-lap sprint to the finish.
Hey, we have the top two finishers from the race before this. Do you guys mind sharing the mic? Give me your name and where you're from.
My name's Jared Stoner. I'm from Lewisberry, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
My name's Aiden Carter from Madison, New Jersey.
Okay. You were first?
Yes.
Second? What did you think about the course?
I thought the course was good. It was hot. This track is pretty rough, usually for the criteriums around here, but track was good, field was good, and good competition.
It was a pretty tough course. I liked it. It definitely presented some challenges with the long uphill drags, and the corners on the backstretch are a little bumpy, but I thought it was a good course.
Now, you came out, when did you make your move?
The track's about 1 mile long, so I made my move about a half mile into the last lap. Just with reading the group and everything, I knew it was going to be really fast in the bottom corner, so I went early, hoping that nobody got me, and he was very close. So.
Yeah, you were on the right side, you were on the left side, right?
He went over the top of the hill on the backstretch, and I hesitated to miss my opportunity, so I went on the in between turners 3 and 4, and went through the last corner, second wheel, and just couldn't catch up to him. He had a gap.
And real quick, can you give me, how old are you guys?
I'm 27.
27?
16.
16? Wow. How long have you been racing?
This is like my second full series. I've raced motorcycles beforehand, so it's just something new for me.
Okay, and you're 6. You look young. I was going to say, what made you do? How long have you been doing it?
Since I was 14, so just 3 years.
Wow. All right, guys. Congratulations. You coming back again if they have it again?
Yeah.
Well, you're not that far. Well, you're both not that far. So.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half.
Okay. Guys, thank you. Congratulations. Thanks, man. Thank you.
And it was a great finish in that race, too. Those guys fought hard the whole time, and big sprint at the finish.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you.
Good interview there by Al, catching those guys. 16 years old, Al.
Amazing. He looks younger than that even. And I gotta say, Dawn is not doing enough here. She actually got the interviews for us, so she's she made my job easy there.
She's running all over the place. They're still keying in the names of the late additions. So, but we did see that Colleen had the lead crossing the line there on the second lap. And it looks like she is working, looks like it's 3 cyclists up at the front now in a little bit of a breakaway, trying to work together. This is the one descent on the track right here, coming down Hanover Street onto High Street. And it's beautiful because High Street is so wide that essentially it's 5 lanes wide. So it's a great place to really build up speed and momentum through the turn. And any vestige of a breakaway is now gone. Basically, they're starting to bunch back up together. In fact, you can even see as they cross the finish line, they kind of let up a little bit. There is what's known as a faux flat. It looks like it's flat, but it's actually a climb, a little bit of a rise as they head toward Evans.
Steve, I'm curious, when you're finished this race and what these other people are feeling, I guess your legs have got to be burning. Are you short of wind at that point too?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Short of wind, legs burning. Usually they'll take a lap around the course again, just to basically try and spin that burn out a little bit, get rid of some of that lactic acid. A lot of them you'll see on the sides here on spinning machines. They'll spin for 15 minutes after the race is over, just trying to keep from cramping up. There'll plenty of hydration going on. In a race like this, it wouldn't be unusual even to see maybe a little bit of a snack on a power bar, maybe 20 minutes in.
But are you going to feel this tomorrow and the next day? Or?
Oh no, I'll be fine. I didn't
Okay.
go. I didn't go as hard as I could have, and honestly, I brought the wrong bike. I should have brought a lighter bike, and I might have been able to mix it up a little bit better. But there was no way I was going to win. There's the pit area right there. It's not like NASCAR. Which is think if you pull into an area, they just have all the wheels lined up there, and if there's a problem, you just pull in, change a wheel, and you get a free lap. So, but of course, they watch out for you in the event that you're just trying to take a break for a lap. If you don't have a puncture, you got a problem. And here they come. They're pretty much gathered up single file. Looks like they did manage to drop one person off the back. And I think the guy keying in the names is now going to make copies, and so we should have all the names here for you shortly. Got Jay Jefferson spinning the tunes down there, and you'll hear him in the background a little bit.
It's like Colleen's in second now?
Yeah, and nobody pushing here. Nobody. You might hear a bell there in the background. That means that there's some kind of a preem on the next lap. So there's, some sponsors donated something to give away. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's a gift certificate or whatever. And trying to encourage the racers to race a little bit harder on the next lap. The winner of the next lap will get whatever that prize happens to be. So, and you'll see the ladies coming around onto Hanover here in just a moment off of Walnut. One of the things about Walnut Street, you're not going to get to see it here, but it's quite bumpy. It's nice, it's shaded, it's tree lined. It's a nice place to kind of catch your breath a little bit, but it's quite bumpy, and it'll rattle you a little bit, especially if you've pumped up your tires to an extreme pressure, which is not necessarily recommended in crit racing. You go into the turns hard, if the surface is slick or hot, it could cause you to slide out and drop the bike. Sometimes you don't want a higher tire pressure.
Now, did they do work on these streets before this race? Did they have to?
Yeah, I don't know if they necessarily did before this race, but there were several places where there is definitely new macadam.
Okay.
Is it brand new? I'm not sure it's brand new for the race specifically, but it is. There is definitely new macadam.
The only potential hazard I see, in fact, the racer just went over, is a manhole cover, but it does not seem to be giving anybody any problems.
Yeah, there are 3 manhole covers as you come down Hanover, and they're really not that big a deal. There is certainly one here about 50 yards from the finish line, which is more an annoyance than anything. You're not going to see. It's not really going to cause any problems for anybody, but it is an annoyance. It's a bump, and bumps cost time.
Yeah.
If you've been injured at work, if you've been injured in a car accident, if you're having problems with your neck, your low back, you're having migraine headaches, if you're suffering, you need to see us first. We can help.
And we're back again looking at Hanover Street, the descent on this Pottstown Criterium. You're watching the PCTV network, a TELUS Vision production.
You know, we got a lot of sponsors, and just once again, thanks. We've heard from a couple of them already, but we also have Sly Fox. Don't think we've heard from them. And what is that restaurant? Azzy? I know I'm mispronouncing that. Azzy? Or maybe they're not a sponsor, and they just got a freebie.
They are a sponsor.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay, good. I don't want to give away freebies. I don't want to get in the doghouse here. It's like good food. And I know Sly Fox has good refreshments.
And again, our apologies in getting the names to you here. We have not been given the names here, but Dawn should be coming up with those shortly. There is one breakaway rider. But if you're not familiar with crit racing, first of all, Colleen's going out to get her right now. That's basically what happens. You break away for a couple laps, you look like you're building an insurmountable lead, and then next thing you know, you're drawn right back into the field because you wear out there all on your own, racing into the wind, facing the headwind all alone. Meanwhile, the other riders are back in a single file line, drafting off each other.
Hey, this car's been around for a while, but it's running great. So am I, Terry Musser. I've been around for a while, and I'm running great. So if you want some experience, somebody that's been there and done that, but still has the energy, you call me, because I have a team of people, we have all of the networking you need, and we have the knowledge, and you just can't buy that, but you'll get it when you choose Terry Musser and his team. Give us a call. You'll be glad you did. Happy trails.
And we're back, and we see it looks like Colleen Gulick has caught the leader, Lucy Bechtel. So Lucy was on a breakaway there for a little while. And curious to see if they're going to work together for a little bit here. Maybe slow the race down a little bit, draw the field back in. Colleen is, as mentioned earlier, it might be a familiar name to you. She graduated from the Hill School here in Pottstown. And after graduating from the Hill School, went to the University of Maryland, where she majored in bioengineering and biomedical engineering. Watch as these ladies come across the line. Just quickly to note, there's no bonus to winning any particular lap. There are certainly things called points races in which certain laps are designated as points laps, and the top 5 finishers or top 10 finishers or whatever they determine for that particular race would score points. And then the winner of the race is not necessarily who crosses the finish line at the end first, but who accumulated the most points. That's not what's happening here. This is basically what's called a scratch race. The first one across the finish line at the end of the race is the winner, regardless of how many laps they led, regardless of what the time is. First one across wins. Continuing the thoughts on Colleen, as I mentioned, she graduated from University of Maryland. She also went to Cal State Fullerton, where she got her master's in clinical exercise physiology.
Wow, that's all the way on the other side of the country.
It is. It is. Colleen has already won 6 events this year, according anyway to the bike resource that I use. That does not include races that she's won at the Velodrome. I know that she won a couple events on Friday night at the Velodrome. And she is a crowd favorite there as well.
You know, one question I wanted to ask Dawn was, if maybe you know this, Steve, was her mom a racer back in the day? Or?
You know what? If she wasn't, she should have been. She's a fiery Type A personality who I think would wreak havoc on the field.
Was in great shape.
Absolutely. So we see the pack coming by. There was a young lady that came. She's actually off the pace. That's Michelle Rotondo from. She's a 32-year-old Cat 4 racer, and we'll discuss the difference in categorization here in just a moment, so you have an idea of what she's actually facing up against. This field was the one that they had a little bit of difficulty filling. There were only 5 racers, as I said earlier, but they did manage to bring 9 racers short notice. And so it is a field of 14, which unfortunately means for some of the ladies, they will go home not in the money. And obviously, when you have a situation like that, you just use money from the other races to help fund this race for the payout, because the payout is guaranteed. And here they come across the line again. No pushing. Everybody's single file. And it looks like we have another lady off the pace.
Uh-oh. What is that? You maybe an injury or just
fatigue?
Okay.
You lose the draft, and it's without a partner. It's almost impossible to catch up, because they're just basically what's happening is they're drafting off each other. So the person in the front is feeling the headwind. Everybody else is just following in each other's, and yeah, she just said she's out.
Okay.
That's a signal saying that she is out. So that is Alexandra Campbell Forte. So we'll be right back in just a moment.
Allergies? Carpet One Floor and Home just made carpet installation healthier. Our new Healthier Living installation minimizes dust, mold, and allergens. Better than home centers, it's antimicrobial, hypoallergenic, simply cleaner. Breathe easier. You'll love it. A healthier installation exclusively at Carpet One Floor and Home. Beautiful. Made affordable.
And we're back as the ladies come down Hanover Street off of Walnut. And they're probably going to be reaching speeds in excess of 40 miles an hour coming down this hill, and then especially at sprint finishes. And here they come around the corner.
Excellent camera work of Matt Wagner.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Perfect angle. Perfect angle. So, of course, the bell means a preem for the next lap. If it would be for this lap, you would have seen them sprinting like crazy to try and win it.
Dawn Gulick was saying how great the borough has been to the police. And, you know, I'll tell you, the police, I love the job police have done. And a lot of us support them, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's been a rough week in some parts of the country, but
it has been. And I don't care what side of the political fence you're on, you can't be happy with what's been happening.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back right after this.
Hello, I'm Wes Rollins, President and founder of Rollins Financial Services. For over 28 years, my firm and I have assisted people like you in analyzing their financial needs and goals and developing strategies to help achieve them. Trying to understand the ever-increasing universe of investments, insurances, and complex financial instruments can be overwhelming. That's where we come in. You work hard for your money, and it should be hard at work for you. At no charge or obligation, you can meet with an experienced professional at our firm to determine if any areas of your specific situation could use some help. I invite you to call me and arrange a time to meet. In the meantime, please visit my website at www.rollinsfinancial.com.
And we're back. And here comes the field, again in single file, not really pushing. No reason to at this stage in the race, halfway through. And coming through the turn now. Great camera shot right there. Okay, and of course this is a sprint for a preem. Not sure what the preem is, but there's something to be won here. And that is Jessica Mundy taking the money, or whatever it is that they offered that lap.
a free leg massage after the race.
I'll tell you what, well worth it.
That would help.
Well worth it. course, this is the time of year where bicycle racing is extremely popular with the Tour de France going on overseas. And spoiler alert here, if you have not done so, you may want to tune your TV down for the next minute while I give you the results of stage 9. Tom Dumoulin won the stage, finished in a hailstorm, Al.
Wow.
Amazing finish.
That's got to hurt your traction.
Oh, I'll tell you what. It was a crazy finish. Alberto Contador, two-time winner of the Tour, withdrew with a fever. And kind of hear that and like, oh, come on, suck it up. But when you're racing 160 miles or 160 kilometers, 100 miles a day for 25 days in a row, yeah, that'll throw you off.
Wow.
Defending champ Chris Froome is still the leader this year, but his lead was chewed into a little bit today. Adam Yates is second. He is 16 seconds behind. Daniel Martin, 19 seconds behind in third. Nero Alexander Quintana Rojas is 23 seconds back. And in fifth place, Joaquim Rodriguez Oliver, 37 seconds back. That is after 9 stages of the Tour de France.
Plus, we got the Olympics coming up, and I love watching the bike racing there as well.
Yeah, you know, a lot of the racers that you see at the Velodrome in Trexlertown will be in the Olympics. And then the one I think of first and foremost is Bobby Lee, spelled L-E-A if you want to Google his name. That's the guy to beat up there, and he will be he'll be racing in the Olympics. And you see the ladies they're just taking it easy right here. This is a good place if you've lost ground, if you've lost traction. This is where you want to sprint and try and catch up. Is right here.
Really, it's tough to ever be out of one of these races, isn't it?
Well, it is. But if you've worn yourself out earlier, like if you don't know right now that they're taking it easy, you don't know to sprint, that you have an opportunity to catch up. And you generally see that after a preem lap is a little bit of a break because they've sprinted to the finish of the previous lap. But there is a breakaway, or at least an attempt. It's Lucy Bechtel trying to break away. But with 9 laps to go, it's probably not going to hold for her. The field will eventually catch her. And this young lady here, Michelle Rotondo, 32-year-old Cat 4. I mentioned the categories earlier.
Steve, I met this guy earlier. I knew right away he had class because he has a Notre Dame hat on.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, what's your name and who you with?
My name is Mark Exley, and I'm the catered beer events manager for the Sly Fox Brewing Company.
I had a clue. I had a clue that, and I remember you guys in November at the race there. Love your product, I got to say. Why do you get involved with this?
Sly Fox has been around for 20 years, and we've been involved in all kinds of community-based events, this being one of them. Our brewery moved to Pottstown about 5 years ago, and we're so pleased to be able to be this involved in the community and what happens here in Pottstown. A lot of the things that we do are athletic-related, sporting events having to do with bike racing, foot racing, kayaking, and all kinds of things that have to do with outdoors.
Oh, I've noticed a lot of people sampling your product as well, so sales are going well?
Sales today are fabulous.
Good.
We're so happy with the crowd that came out today, and we couldn't be happier with our sponsorship.
Okay. Thank you so much, and once again, go Irish.
Go Irish.
Take care. Have a good week.
Yeah. Thanks, man. So Sly Fox, let's go all the way.
Yes. 86, I think, right?
I think that's correct.
Good
I was
memory.
just in high school. I don't know if they ever had another song,
I
though.
don't think they did. Certainly no other hits.
Nope. All right, so it is a 2-bike breakaway right now, and all you need is a buddy to be able to break away. But then again, it depends on the experience of the folks in the big group known as the Peloton. And this is Nina Wollaston has broken away with Lucy Bechtel. So as I said, our pre-race favorites are in the Peloton here, and they don't seem panicked by the fact that they're about 15 seconds behind. So they can make up that ground in no time.
I got to give credit, Steve, to Tyler Brackbill for tracking down that interview. He went to another group, and they had already had a couple of cups of suds and decided against it. So thank you, Tyler.
So getting to the discussion of the categories, I told you I raced in a Category 5 race earlier today, and that's where you start. If you're a beginner, you automatically start at Cat 5. For women, it's Cat 4. So we do have 3 ladies here who are running Cat 4, although I have several that are not noted, so I'm not sure if we have more than that. And basically the way you move up in categories is you just race races. Just keep racing, and after you run a certain amount of events, men are automatically bumped up to Cat 4. And then after that, you have to start showing some pretty good finishes. You got to show finishes in the top 50%. You got to race in races with a lot of racers, finish in the top 5. You score a certain amount of points for that. It's a convoluted system that you can find on the USA Cycling website. I'm not going to bore you with it here. But long story short, in a 12-month period, if you can score 20 points, you can bump up to Cat 3. 25 points bumps you to Cat 2, and 30 points bumps you to Cat 1. And there is only one Cat 1 racer in this event, at least of the ones listed, and that is Colleen Gulick. So our Category 2 racers are Elspeth Hewitt and Caitlin Matan. Category 3 is Alexandra Campbell-Forte, who we saw dropped out earlier. She actually pointed to her side. I don't know if there was a side stitch or what, but she dropped out earlier. And Jacqueline Paul is also a Category 3, as is Masami Yamashita. And the other ladies are either Cat 4 or not listed on my sheet as a category. 2-bike breakaway. We'll time the next lap. See how long it takes. The men in the previous race were running laps at around 2 minutes.
Wow, that is a lead.
Yeah, it is. We'll see what that lead is here in a moment, as they're just now coming out of the turn. But still, not too terribly difficult for these ladies to make up, and they're starting to push it here a little bit. So it's an 18-second lead right now, and that's in a race like this, that's really nothing. However, Sarah Grenade there in the back from Virginia, this is the kind of thing where she could drop off, so she needs to make sure she hangs in there, doesn't lose that draft, because they're not breaking away from each other. They're just trying to catch the pack. So we'll be right back and see if they catch them right after this.
An orthopedic institute is more than a name. It's a unique care model based on quality and compassion. Decades devoted to research and clinical trials, the development of new surgical techniques, and physicians who outperform the field. What you get from our institute is more options and more answers. For your orthopedic care, think Rothman first.
New office and 7-day urgent care now open in Limerick.
And we're back. Coming down off of Walnut onto Hanover. Steve Carabetis here with Al Ganoza. And beautiful day. What, just a perfect day.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, low humidity. We caught a break.
Yep. Maybe a little warm, but it is July. So our 2-bike breakaway here. They led by 18 seconds last lap. We'll see if the field has managed to cut that gap a little bit. One of the things that that they certainly don't know up there in the front is if the field is pursuing them or not. Right now, it looks like the field is actually taking it easy.
Wow.
So it looks like the lead is going to open up a little bit more.
It seemed like Colleen had a little bit of a sense of urgency last time. I guess there's still too far to go to have too much urgency.
Yeah, it depends certainly on who will go with her. Does she trust anybody to go with her? And honestly, can anybody go with her? Can anybody keep up with her to be able to do that? And so, this may be a really good breakaway. But like I said, even with 6 laps to go, this can be made up. And they have trimmed a little bit into it. It's only 15 seconds. So they did trim 1 second off. But of course, a second lap isn't going to do it. But just because it was 1 second this lap doesn't mean that's what it's going to be every lap. So they may make another push. And they didn't drop any of the ladies either on that last charge. And so they're just taking it easy. Maybe banking on the ladies in front to wear down.
Okay. Folks, I'm going to give you a mic if you can share it. Tell me your names. Yes. And obviously, I want to make sure I pronounce. How do you pronounce your restaurant? Ozzy. Okay. If you can hold it close, do you mind pivoting with the mic to close your mouth? Who you are and.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. My name is Kaz. I'm the chef at the Ozzy restaurants.
Okay. And about your.
I'm Ann. I'm from Ozzy in Villanova.
Hi, my name is Win. I'm the owner of Ozzy.
So wait, a couple different restaurants then? Oh, where's the closest one here? Villanova. Okay. What made you decide to get involved with the racing?
Well, we're going to open up a restaurant right here, Ozzy, Pottstown, and Beer Garden.
Oh, when's that going to happen?
Next year.
Next year. Wow, that's a good location. Have you been looking at Pottstown for a while?
For a couple of years, and we want to bring business back to the town. We like the architecture, the people, and everything.
Okay. Hey, real quick, what kind of food can we?
Asian
Asian
food.
fusion, yeah. We're having sushi, Japanese, Thai, Chinese, and Italian, French. So.
Oh, good. And how do you pronounce Ozzy? Ozzy? Folks, thank you so much. We're looking forward to that. That's going to be at what, 228 or 230 High Street?
228.
Next to where the old Hippodrome, the Hippodrome used to be.
Almost there, but it's gone.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good luck, guys. Take care. Thank you.
Nina Wollaston and Lucy Bechtel retaining that lead. And the field doesn't seem that concerned about it right now. Sometimes, Al, it's just a matter of knowing who the breakaway is and, what their history is. And sometimes you think, well, we'll catch them, they'll wear down. And sometimes you think, there's no way we're going to catch them, so why wear ourselves down?
What are we now? Is that 5 laps left?
Yeah, and actually the lead is 34 seconds now for the breakaway. Yeah, they were sprinting across the line too. They were firing across the line.
That's interesting. You say that at some point they might make a decision. We're not going to catch them.
So there's still money to be given away, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Well, through 10th certainly. And so we'll be back and see if they can cut into that lead in just a second.
Just down the street, there's a hardware store with great tools, products,
and expert advice.
We've got everything you need because we know the community
and we know our customers.
So next time you have a home improvement project,
drop by
your local True Value hardware store. True Value.
Start right.
Start here.
Your True Value expert is A.D. Moyer in Gilbertsville and Pottstown. On the web at admoyer.com.
And we're back. 2-bike breakaway of Nina Wollaston and Lucy Bechtel. As they come down on the High Street. They've been working very well together. Been taking turns pulling. Well, it's all you need is one buddy. They have really widened the gap here on the field. This 9/10 of a mile course that they've mapped out, looks like they're in front by a good 4/10 of a mile.
Yeah, they seem to be stretching it out, getting stronger.
Yeah, it could be that there's just not enough in the peloton here to be able to pull them back.
I imagine a lot of these riders, too, get excited when they see somebody of Colleen Gulick's stature and fires them up.
Yeah, absolutely. And here they come. 43 seconds behind right now. So again, not insurmountable, but they're going to have to make a move here shortly. Trim about 10 seconds a lap off. And of course, we don't know what Nina and Lucy have left in the tank either.
Steve, you were talking earlier about how some of these riders are in their mid-30s. What do you think the prime is for people when they start to feel Mother Nature saying, you're getting a little too old for this?
Yeah, I think once you hit that 40 mark, you're going to start seeing a decline. The thing is, though, when you hit the 40 mark, you're a lot smarter, and so there are ways that you know how to trim time off, you know what you're doing. And so we see the leaders coming, and there's they're going to lap. I believe that's Michelle Rotondo, who's been off the pace the whole race, but really hanging on, doing a great job not getting lapped. But
she looks young.
Yeah, well, she's 32.
Okay. Well, she looks good for 32. Yep. Not that 32's old. From where I'm at, it looks pretty young.
Yeah, 32 is very young from where I'm looking. So our leaders come around. And then Michelle may choose to just come off here. They may pull her off if they feel like she's not a hindrance and she wants to keep going. She certainly can, but her chances of victory are nil today.
Still got the breeze coming down High Street at the racer's back, but you said you feel that you have to pay the piper at some point, right?
Yep. You know, one thing I say is it's always a headwind, and but I could actually feel it coming down High Street. It was nice. You come off that turn off of Hanover, burst of speed there. It is a descent until you get to Penn Street, kind of flattens out a bit, and then it rises a little bit. Right here at the start-finish line is where you begin to see a little bit of an ascent. Faux flat, as we called it earlier.
Steve, I'm curious, and I got to ask, why does the leader look behind to see where they are? Are they trying to fend them off?
That may be what's happening. They also may be communicating as to who should lead next.
Oh.
You know, maybe calling something. Like you can see, they're all kind of riding in tandem there. So it looks like they signaled each other as to what to do, who should take the next turn pulling.
Is there ever like a freeloader in the group who just kind of just sucks off of everybody else's drafting? Or
yes, that's
okay.
The idea of crit racing is you want to be that freeloader.
Okay. That's not a bad thing, right?
Well, it's frowned upon certainly by the ones who are pulling.
Okay.
But yeah, you want to be that freeloader that's full of energy at the end, and then you win, and you look in the background while you're being interviewed, and everybody's very angry with you because you didn't take your turn at pulling.
Like that guy who always seems to miss buying the round of drinks.
And the leader's coming around here. They'll get the 2 to go when they come down. So I don't know, Al. I'm thinking it's going to come down to these two ladies.
Yeah, the race before this, they were clumped together till the very end.
They were, and I would expect the same in the men's race as well, which is the one coming up right after this one. And 2 to go.
Doesn't look like the pack's gotten any closer.
No, they haven't. And at this point now, they're going to have to make up roughly 25 seconds a lap. Not impossible, but not likely. And in fact, these ladies, you saw there, Lucy look back, and the fact that she doesn't see the field coming down the turn, she's telling Nina they can take a break here, and the pack certainly not pressing at all. So what we will see, though, is an exciting sprint for third. So that'll be coming up in a couple laps.
So of those two leaders, one won't try to drain the energy of the other one?
No, they'll work together. There's no need to do that. They've utilized each other to break away the way they have. It's possible one may try and break away now, but not unlikely. We do see a sprint now, so we'll see if they have anything left here. Sprint being led by Bryony both.
You see a lot of the people from the men's division getting their bikes ready and going down the sidewalk.
Yeah, they're pretty excited. I mean, it's the highlight. It's the last race of the day.
30-miler, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a 30-miler. And those guys will be moving at a crazy clip.
Yeah, figure.
You're going to see our leaders come out, and they'll be down to the final lap once they come by the finish line here. The white flag, if you will. And again, neither one pushing the other. They'll just hash it out on the final lap. And actually, Al, if one of them were to try and sprint right now, they're probably so drained right now that if anyone tried to break away now, the other one would almost assuredly win the race.
Okay.
So, but one of the keys is to be the one watching, not the one leading at this point. The one leading isn't quite sure what the other one has in store. And so sometimes that's why you'll see them peek back, is to see, is the other person making a move? Are they moving inside, outside? Where are they going? That bell is 1 lap to go. And it's going to come down to these two ladies.
And you're saying top 10 finishers get prize money?
Yeah, top 10 in this race will get prize money. Certainly not enough people entered to pay the purse, but you know, the purse in my race was $200, and we had like 50 of us entered.
Still, that's not bad.
25 a pop, so that money will go and help pay for this one. And the pack coming down here. Looks like we have a. Oh no, that's I was going to say a breakaway for third, but that's actually Michelle still out there, and now she's being asked to exit the track so that she does not hinder the finish, since her spot is pretty much guaranteed at this point. You'd hate to be a lap down and cause a mishap or something.
Yeah.
So the field is basically resigned themselves to a race for third place here, and that's what we're going to see here. And right now it's being pulled by Jessica Mundy, but that is irrelevant at this point. They have 9/10 of a mile to hash it out and see who's going to finish third. And here come our first two, Nina Wollaston and Lucy Bechtel. So they battled for 25 miles. They're going to hash it out right here. They'll hold the sprint probably until they come out of the turn. And here they come. All right, sprinting down the line.
Oh! Oh!
It's not over yet, though.
Wow.
Can she take it? It will be Nina Wollaston with the win. Lucy Bechtel a close second. So they broke away with about 12, 14 laps to go, and they made it hold up. That is unusual. Here's the finish. Oh, what, 0.2 of a second, not even? 1/10 of a second, maybe?
After all that distance to be separated by that.
That much, yep. But they needed each other for that.
Yeah.
They needed each other. If either of them would have tried to do it on their own, they would have failed miserably, in all likelihood. So now we're going to see the race for third, which is going to be pretty exciting. Provided that they didn't stop somewhere for a bite to eat on the way. They have plenty of time to do that after the race is over. Here they come. So we may see a sprint here a little bit quicker. Somebody try and break away early, but it's not likely.
Wow, what a lead those two have.
Yeah, we see someone trying to break in on the inside. There's a saying in crit racing, inside suicide. When you go into a turn, you don't want to be the one on the inside. Unless, of course, you're the one leading. And here they come. Sprint to the finish. Breaking all traffic laws here in Pottstown. And it is Colleen Gulick taking home third place. And a crash at the finish. A crash at the finish.
Well, we got 3 people down. One took a real bad header.
We do. We do.
Now,
oh,
Steve,
that was awful.
Now you can see why helmets are such a good idea.
Yeah, they're mandatory in this racing. So we see the finish there. There's Colleen crossing very close at second. And 3 racers down. Oh, one is back up. We'll be back and check on the condition of our racers in just a moment.
So I want to take this opportunity just to let you know that Chestnut Knoll at Home has 2 offices, one in Phoenixville and one in Gilbertsville. We offer part-time and full-time positions. We have a 401k program that goes into effect 1 year after your employment. We also offer paid time off. We offer flexibility of hours and the fact that you're out there making a difference in someone's life.
The feeling that they matter in this world, especially the elderly. I think they're so overlooked sometimes, and if they don't have family members, and you might be the only person that touched their life that day with a smile.
Flexibility is great because I'm a college student. I'm meant to be an RN, and they work around my schedule really well. I give them enough time to when it's going to change, and they put in for me. I have no problems, and that's a great aspect to the company as well.
Single mom, so I could still see their sports, still be there for dinner, still be around on the weekends, still pick up a couple hours here and there, but ultimately ended up just making this is what I was supposed to do, work in home care.
Tired of waiting in long lines for your prescriptions? Well, Professional Pharmacy has the answer, offering you fast, friendly, and free prescription delivery right to your front door. So stop waiting in those long lines and call Professional Pharmacy today.
Well, if you don't think that we can, well, think twice.
Conveniently located in Pottstown and Pennsburg.
For more than 50 years, Pottstown Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery has served its community with expert dental care, offering patients dental implants and a full menu of procedures for many types of dental problems, including bone grafting, wisdom teeth, impacted canines, facial trauma, jaw surgery, oral pathology, TMJ disorders, and sleep apnea. Get the smile you've always wanted. Contact Pottstown Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery today.
Okay. Got Marielle Ritchie.
Yes.
From out to Harrisburg. In fact, the wife of former Eagles fullback John Ritchie.
Yep.
And you came from the Harrisburg area to race.
Yeah, Enola.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been racing?
Actually, this is my first year of racing. So I'm pretty new, but I've done a lot of races this year.
Okay. What did you think about the course in the race here?
The course is pretty good because it's just a nice square, only 4 turns, which is, not too many for a crit. Sometimes you try to pack several turns into a crit and it gets dicey. The backside of the road here in Pottstown is a little bit bumpy. You've got some potholes, manholes, things that you want to avoid. There's a little bit of gravel, but overall I think it's a great course.
What did you think? What was the thought of you, and did you get anybody else's reaction when there was 2 riders just bolted out like that?
Well, that's a break, and you want to chase that down. That also could be called an attack. So when 2 riders take off like that, you want to jump in line and stay right on them. But there's a lot of strategy to bike racing. It might be teammates trying to throw off the pack, but if it's somebody who looks like a contender, I'd definitely get on the wheel and chase them down.
Okay, Marielle, last question. What could you see of the crash?
I was directly behind it. One of the riders, I believe, just went a little bit too aggressively to get in front of another. At the end of its sprint, it's a wild sprint. Everyone is exhausted, and they're trying their hardest just to increase their placement. And I think the rider just may have, gotten a little too close to another rider. When she got in front of her, the other rider reacted, and then the initial rider that made the jump lost control of her bike and went down. Okay. So it's never a good thing when riders go down. So hopefully all that were involved will get away with minor injuries, and know that in the future, it's really just important to be very safe. Safety is the most important thing with bike racing.
Okay. Marielle, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're
It's
welcome.
great seeing we both come out of Pottstown to see each other. Okay, that's all right. How about all right.
I want a professional heating company with heating and cooling service plans.
A company that considers my needs.
I want the security of price protection plans.
Along with 24-hour emergency service and heating oil delivery.
I want comfort.
I went Ollard Brothers.
Ollard Brothers, still family and still local. Ask about our America-friendly and environment-friendly agri-fuels, bioheat, and biodiesel.
When it comes to heating
And the environment.
There's only one choice.
Thanks, Ollard Brothers.
Okay, this is the winner of the women's race. Can you give me your name and where you're from?
Hi, my name's Nina Wollaston and I'm from New Zealand.
New Zealand?
Yeah.
Are you spending like time? Did you come over for the racing circuit or?
Yeah, so I'm here for a month. I've been here for about 1.5 weeks at the moment, mostly racing on the track in Pottstown. And yeah, just came over to be in the good weather because it's really cold at home, get some good racing and training in while we're here.
Okay, what'd you think of the track here?
The track's awesome. There's a lot of people that race and it's really fun. You know, it's a good environment to be in.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 19.
Oh my goodness. Steve, do you have any questions? I'll pass them on.
Nina, does she know Lucy, who she broke away with? Nina, do you know Lucy, the girl you broke away with?
Do I know her? I don't know the girl that I broke away with. I've never met her before.
Okay, did you guys decide while racing, did you guys talk and say, hey, let's break away and see if we can put the field down?
No, we didn't talk. It was actually quite the opposite. So she went away at the start, and then me and my teammate were trying really hard to catch her down, and her teammate was trying to slow the bunch down so she could get away. So I saw her attack again, and I tried to get on her because I knew she was good, and then we just happened to be away together.
Do you have any idea, as you're racing, do you have any idea if you're being chased or not? Like, did you guys know while you were running out there?
Well, we know we're getting chased the whole time, but I had my coach up the road letting me know the time gap of how far away we were, which was quite good. I knew how hard we had to be going, so yeah, that was helpful.
And did you and Lucy work out an agreement and say, hey, you know, nobody break away, we'll just settle this at the end, or was that just...
No, we didn't do a whole lot of talk, just heads down, racing hard.
Well, you guys did a great job.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful job.
Thanks
and
so much.
Good luck.
I think she said hand the phone back to Al. Nina, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Have a safe trip back. How long of a flight is that back to New Zealand?
Well, we fly to Newark, which is about 5-6 hours, and then to New Zealand is about 11. So long haul.
Well, thanks for coming to Pottstown.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a good race.
Okay, take
Great.
care.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nice meeting you.
Hello, I'm Wayne Klein, President and owner of Klein Transportation, along with my wife Adele. We've been providing passenger transportation since 1957 for students going to Daniel Boone School District and charter business since 1979. Allison, our daughter, is actually the representation of the fourth generation of the Klein family.
We invite you to join us to go to many fun travel destinations. Our motto is, half the fun is getting there. We are so proud of all of our staff of travel specialists. Whether you contact us by phone or online, we help you choose a Klein tour, a casino trip, or to schedule your transportation by motor coach or school bus.
Let's step on board and choose our next destination.
And Steve Karabatis back with Al Ganoza here at the Pottstown Criterium. On the PCTV network, you see the men's Cat 1, 2, 3 lining up here after a vicious crash at the end of the women's race. Marred what was actually a really nice race. We do not have video footage of it. It's not that we're withholding it from you. We don't have video footage of it. And personally, if I can interject my own opinion on it, I'm glad we don't. I saw the tail end of it. It was vicious. A little bit of an update on the people who were involved. Jacqueline Paul was checked out and got up on her own power. Bryony both, also same thing. Went down, checked herself out, and seemed fine. However, two ladies stayed down for a while. Masami Yamashita got up on her own power. They checked the back of her neck. She was actually run over by a cyclist at the finish. They took her in an ambulance, and hopefully everything checks out okay for her. And then Sarah Grenade from Virginia was the other one who was down, and it looked like they put some kind of a cast, an air cast or something on her lower arm. So it could be a wrist or lower arm ulnar injury. Of course, we don't want to speculate, but those do seem to be common injuries, those and collarbones when riders go down. So we do wish the best for those ladies. We thank Nina Wollaston for coming on and doing an interview with us from New Zealand, 19 years old. Exciting finish for her and a breakaway with Lucy Bechtel. Basically just showing the field what they have. And so this is going to be our premier race here, the one saved for last for this afternoon. 47 riders. Al Ganoza did not enter. We tried to get him to get in last minute, but he decided he would just do interviews. So we are down to 47 riders for this event.
Steve, you say the quit.
The quit race.
I've been waiting to use that line all day.
And well used it is.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
By the way, coming up, we have an interview with Dave Chauner from the World Cycling League, and want to get his impressions on the day.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, just let me know, and I'll keep my mouth shut. So looking at the field here, 47 riders, as I mentioned. As I mentioned at the outset, Thomas Detweiler and Ryan DeWalt, a couple of 37-year-olds with a history of winning events like this. Certainly have to be categorized as favorites, Cat 1 racers. Alex Kellum is another Cat 1 racer to watch out for, 24-year-old. And David Casale, a winner, also as I said, David Casale and David Dawson, the Davids. And notice a name here, a late entry, Tyler Nostein, son of gold medal winner Marty Nostein from up in Trexlertown. And Tyler, I believe, is 19 years old. He's a Cat 2 racer, but don't let that fool you. He certainly has every ability to win this race. So they're underway here in a 30-lap shootout.
All right, Steve, we're here now with Dave Chauner from the World Cycling League. You live in Westchester, though, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Just your impressions of how the day went so far.
Actually, I think this is a really great first-year event. I mean, events like this can really help energize a community, and it's really interesting to see and exciting to see the community starting to get behind it. It'll take a while for it to build, but I think if you take a leaf out of the Westchester page, the Westchester Criterium now draws 20,000 people.
Wow.
And it really is a great, annual town festival, and I think that's what this could grow into.
How many years have you been in racing?
40.
Wow. What did you get involved originally for?
I was involved as a racer, back in the late 60s and 70s, so I raced for many years internationally, and then have been involved in promoting cycling events for another 30 years.
A couple of things that encouraged me. I saw the gentleman that came in second in the second to last men's race was 16. Nina was 19. I'd love to see the youth get involved like that.
There's no question. I think there's a lot of kids that are getting involved in cycling. I think one of the big stimulus factors around here is the velodrome up in Trexlertown. And a lot of the riders that are here today are riders that have been in, competing in the Trexlertown at the Valley Preferred Cycling Center in Trexlertown, and that's a real impetus for youth cycling. They really develop a lot of kids to get involved in racing.
Okay, what's the next big race coming up on the circuit that you'll be at?
Well, actually, our team, the Pennsylvania Lightning, which is racing here, they're going to be going out to Chicago next week for a series of 10 races out there.
Okay.
So they travel all around, and I'm not really sure what the next race around here is.
Oh.
Although, actually, I should correct that. The National Track Championships, Velodrome Championships, are going to be in Trexlertown at the end of July. So all of the top racers from all over the country will be here for that.
Wow, that's always a great spot, isn't it, going up there?
Yeah, it's terrific.
All right. Dave, thank you so much for talking with
All
us,
right.
and great to hear from you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Take care. Have a safe trip back, too.
Yeah, and as Dave pointed out about the track racing at the Velodrome, it's a different race than what you see here. On a track race like that, the bicycles have one gear, and it is a fixed gear bike, which means that you cannot coast. You're moving, you're pedaling, and there are no brakes on those bikes either. Those bikes, you slow down by either moving yourself up the track or pulling back on the pedal, so to speak. You're still pedaling forward, but you're kind of pressuring backwards to try and slow the bicycle down, and they're following each other basically inches apart. So we saw Chris Meacham led the first lap there, and now it looks like the field is kind of bunched up again, although I'm not sure if that's Meacham out in front or not, but we'll see here in a second. And trying to cut nice and close there to the corner. It's just a beautiful sight. Here they come. I'm going to get you time on this lap here. And it's a lap of 1:55.
Is that fast?
I believe David Ebling was our leader. That's the fastest that I've clocked. I've been clocking several of the men's races earlier, and the fastest I saw before that was 1:58. So that's the fastest I've seen. And yeah, that's fast.
Okay.
That's moving. They could certainly do better than that, but that is moving.
You know, Steve, I think you said some of the guys racing this race raced in their earlier races too, and I thought I recognized a familiar. How do they still have energy to do that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you get yourself some kind of a nutrition bar and load up on some of those drinks, those energy drinks, and back out you go. I mean, this is what they're trained to do. And so it's nothing for them to race 20 miles, then come back and do 30 more. It's happening at the velodrome all the time where racers will sprint and then they'll take a break for a couple races and then they're back out there again running 60 miles in some cases.
I guess the thing, it probably takes less damage or takes less of a toll on your legs than running does.
Oh, absolutely. I often equate cycling to running without actually hitting the ground.
Okay.
Like just about as you're about to impact the ground, your foot comes up and the other foot comes down. And I've seen studies that indicate that up to 97% of the energy expended on a bicycle is returned to the rider. And there is nothing like that. There's no exercise anywhere even close to that. I'm not sure what the number is for running, but I know it's not anywhere near 97%.
Wow.
So we'll see who our leader is this lap and what our lap time is on this one. And our leader this lap, Michael Chauner. He is a Cat 1 racer from Westchester with the PA Lightning team.
Well, and that so happens to be Dave Chauner's last name as well.
Yeah.
Might be some kind of relationship there. So how many teams do you think we have? At least one team?
I counted before all the late entrants were added in. I counted at least 3 teams.
Okay.
There was, get my notes here real quick. Tri-State Velo, Amoroso's racing team. They brought at least 6 racers here. David Casali is probably the guy to look for there. If that team tries to push anyone to victory, it'll probably be him. Team Skyline from the Reading area. Looks like Ryan DeWald from Mount Penn is going to be the guy they're going to try and push there. There's 4 racers there. And Pushworks Racing Van Dessel. They'll be riding the bikes, Mark Van Dessel. And it looks like there are 5 of those riders there. And Alan Royick and Ian Whaley are the 2 guys to look for there. Royick from Shippensburg and Whaley from Monroe, Connecticut. So, you know, these teams do spread far and wide. And there's a couple smaller teams here. Echelon Cycles has 2 racers. Brand Cycle, Rosalind Porsche, has brothers Juan Pineda and Minor Pineda, 41 and 45 years old, respectively. So, you know, there are a fair share of racing teams. And it's nice to have a buddy. It's nice to have someone in the field that you can trust, that they can pull you back if you start to fade, or can pull you if, or you can pull if they're starting to fade.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Is that an advantage to have 4 teammates in a race or 3 teammates like that?
Absolutely. You can spend the entire time just following in their slipstream, and then at the end they just kind of break off for you and let you sprint to the finish. You know, some people are made to be sprinters, and some riders are made to do the long term. And Wes Klein with the lead on that lap.
Oh.
Klein is a 24-year-old. Has several wins on his ledger.
You want to hold this?
Is a Cat 1 racer. And we got an interview here.
Yeah, Steve, we got Matt Green from Glocker Realty.
That's right.
Just want to ask, how did you guys get involved in sponsoring here?
Well, I've known Dawn and Colleen Gulick for quite a number of years, and they approached me looking for some sponsors, and I thought it would be a good idea. We need to get some more activity down into Pottstown and encourage people to come downtown in Pottstown. So I thought it would be a great way to promote my town and help my friends with their bike race.
How long have you been with Glocker Realty?
I've been with Glocker for a little bit over a year now. I'm new to real estate. I transitioned from law enforcement. Prior to being a real estate agent, I was a police officer here in Pottstown for 8 years.
Who runs Glocker Realty now? Is Mr. Glocker still around?
Mr. Glocker is still there, and 2 years ago, the brokerage was bought by Matt Kennedy and Martin Slater.
Okay.
So they're the head honchos now.
Where do you guys have offices around here?
We have an office in Boyertown and an office in Pottstown, and in North Coventry.
Yeah.
On Glocker Way.
Yep.
And I do a lot of work here in Pottstown. I have seminars that I help transition people from renting to home ownership. I teach them the home buying process, get them plugged in with some good mortgage programs to help them get into a home. And we're teaching people that right now it's cheaper to buy a home in Pottstown than it is to rent. So why waste money on rent? Buy a home, save your money, put it in your pocket, not your landlord's.
Can they find out more about that on the website?
They absolutely can. They can go to my website, which is www.keytohomeownership.com, or they can call me at 610-310-4252.
And
My
it's
name's Matt Green at Glocker Realty. That's right.
Matt, thank you so much, and thanks
you.
for coming up, man.
All right, thanks.
Take care.
All right, thanks to Matt for that. That last lap there, we saw Dan Mullen with the lead and Fred Billette right behind him in second place. And the action is fast and furious. And we'll be back to pick it up right after this. You're watching.
You got ladies.
Good. You're welcome. So
Anything else I can get for you?
Yeah,
Your salad, right.
Otherwise, we're good. Thank you. Yeah.
Lily's Grill, 115 East High Street, Pottstown. Modern American cuisine at reasonable prices.
Enjoy.
And so glad to have Lily's Grill as a sponsor here on the PCTV network in downtown Pottstown. Part of the renaissance going on down here. It is beautiful down here. I'm really enjoying myself. Not going to lie, I do come down here quite a bit on my bicycle. So I've seen a couple riders off the pace. Pedro Arias, Alan Royak, and Ken Walsh have lost the draft. And if they can't get together and work together, they may have to retire from the event.
I'm ready to retire. But I figured out I have to wait till I'm 110 before I can afford it.
That was Guy Nellison leading that lap. Nellison, 33-year-old Cat 1 racer. He's from Lambertville, New Jersey.
Yeah, got a couple New Jerseyans here. We had a New Jerseyan who took second place in the Cat 4 race, right?
Yeah. Yep. We'll be right back right after this.
If you've been injured at work, if you've been injured in a car accident, if you're having problems with your neck, your low back, you're having migraine headaches, if you're suffering, you need to see us first. We can help.
And we're back watching the men's Cat 1, 2, 3. That is not the leader. That is the motorcycle catching up to the tail end of the lead lap. He is pulling the leader. I believe that is Ken Walsh in the front there. The aforementioned Ken Walsh. And they're about to put a lap on him.
Well, they just give you like a subtle wave and you know what that means?
Yep, and you're out. Yep.
Steve, once again, I just want to give kudos to Dawn Gulick, all the energy that she's put out, and she continues to like funnel us the guests too.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Dawn and Colleen were out here bright and early. I came at 11 o'clock to register myself, and they were out here doing registrations and all that, and, you know, it was a long day for both of them, and they're still as spry as ever.
Yeah, Colleen had to do all that and then race yet.
Yeah, and race, exactly right. And we see Christopher Bakash getting some work done on his bicycle. As I said earlier, because this does not fall within the last 8 laps, this is a free lap for him. So basically, they're going to get his bike fixed up, and he'll climb back out there and not lose a lap.
What looks like he had a flat, you think?
It might have been a flat, could have been a bent rim, maybe a problem with the brake system. So he'll probably climb on board as soon as the peloton is nearing him, and then just jump right back in.
That's not a bad deal.
It's not. It's not. Like I said, you know, there are people who try and work the system a little bit, and you know, certainly people out on the lookout for that. Just kind of show up, and there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with your bike. You just need a breather. That is certainly a problem. And of course, one of the major issues plaguing cycling of late. Many of you at home are probably familiar with scandals of blood doping, and Lance Armstrong and just about everyone else cheating in one way or another. But this past year has seen a whole new level. Femke van Dresky, 19-year-old racer, and a fellow by the name of Nico van Mulder, who sold her a bike, made news last year when they were part of an owner-rider team found with a motor in the bicycle.
Wow.
And it's known as mechanical doping, or bike doping, if you will. The motor was actually in her bike post, and it was controlled by a Bluetooth switch under her handlebar tape. She was fined 20,000 francs, which is roughly $20,000. Suspended for 6 years in order to return prize money and medals.
Wow, she should just be banned. Anybody who's that brazen.
That sounds like motorcycle racing to me.
Yep.
We'll be back for bicycle racing right after this.
Yakalak Construction, serving the Tri-County area since 1946. Family owned, free estimates, all types of concrete work, sidewalks, foundations, steps, curbs, and more. Professional service and quality. Give them a call, 610-323-8134.
And we're back watching as the lead motorcycle comes down Hanover. And here come the cyclists, little 3-bike breakaway. Just a small breakaway, just several seconds. Nothing to worry about for any of these riders. Little pass there before they get into the turn. Safest place to do it is certainly on the straightaways. And pedaling all the way through the turn there, the leader. And they're going to push strong here to the start-finish line. This little 4-bicycle breakaway now. All teammates there. Actually, the top 2 were teammates there. Patrick Jones and Jason Roth. No, I'm wrong. Patrick Jones with PA Lighting. Jason Roth with Swashbuckler Brewing.
Steve, you talked about the bikes at the one race at the velodrome where they don't have gears. I'm assuming these are geared bikes.
Yeah, these, what you see here is all geared bikes. And I actually, I did some switching of gears just here and there, especially as I started to tire toward the latter stages of the race on the inclines. Went to more of a spin mode, it's called, where you're spinning the pedals a lot more, RPMs of 100, 110, 120 revolutions per minute, instead of pushing a tall gear, which is known as mashing. You can get quite tired mashing So spinning, even though it sounds tiring, it's actually not. You're spinning an easier gear and it generating the same type of speed. Lance Armstrong was known as being a spinner.
Just, I'm curious as far as the investment in some of these bikes. What can one dump into one of these top-of-the-line bikes?
The sky is the limit. You're looking for an entry-level bike. Right now, a good entry-level bike is going to cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,000. That type of componentry will likely wear out after a few races and it'll all need to be replaced, which is kind of where you get into the better bicycles with better componentry, the Dura Ace Shimano componentry, the Campagnolo componentry from Italy. SRAM, S-R-A-M, has gotten into the road biking industry now as well with componentry. So you get better componentry. The SRAM Red is going to get you longer life out of it, but it's going to cost you. So, you either pay up front or you pay later, but you want the better componentry because you want to know when you shift, you want to know that your bike is going to do what you want it to do. David Dawson there with the lead on that lap.
And I guess you get what you pay for on a bike, right?
Yeah, you get what you pay for. And so, like I said, the sky's the limit. You could be paying upwards of $2,000, $3,000 per wheel.
Wow.
The frames can cost you in the neighborhood of $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, depending on what you're looking for. Some of these bikes, before the pedals are put on them, weigh less than 12 pounds. So, this is not your dad's Schwinn. I rode a 24-pound 1987 Schwinn Circuit. Had a guy come up to me today and said, you take the prize here. He said, that's the bike. But unfortunately, it wasn't the bike. I do have a carbon fiber bike at home, but like the girls' race finished with the wreck there, I was concerned of a wreck and my inability to replace my bicycle. I'm not sponsored by a team that'll just replace my bike for me, and my bike was $3,000 new, and I just don't have that kind of money as a youth pastor to pour into a bicycle, and so I brought a bike I bought for $10 at a yard sale.
Wow, I don't blame you.
But it cost me at the end, so.
Well, and those women that went down, they probably in the back of their mind like, oh my goodness, I hope my bike's okay.
Yeah, and I think that is often, our thoughts is I dropped a bike last November, a fixed gear bike that I had, and something I called No Shift November, and my first thought was, well, I hope the bike's all right. Next thing I knew, I was in the ER with a sprained wrist. Oh. But the bike was all right.
Well, that's good.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. Wrists will heal.
Right, and it did. 2 weeks later, I was back on the bike. Actually, that same day I was back on the bike. I was just too stupid to not ride it.
Well, they always say if you fall off, you got to get back on.
Got to get right back on, yep. So leader of that lap, Patrick Jones, Cat 1 racer from New Zealand, running with the PA Lightning team this time. And the rest of the peloton comes firing through. Yeah, they're coming down here. When you watch them ripping there down the front stretch, you're watching speeds in excess of 35 miles an hour, pushing 40 when they're sprinting. So they're definitely flying around this course.
And that's why you see him take that turn wide up there, almost like a runner rounding first base.
Yep, absolutely. That's
double.
exactly what it is. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Take that wide berth into that turn and come down tight when you're the leader. Take a little peek back. There's a lot of talking going on, letting them know I'm taking the inside.
Yeah, because you got, High Street, 5, 6 lanes, and you go down to Evans Street, which is, a lane and a half, basically?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was tight going. Like I said, it was beautiful back there, but it's tight going. Walnut Street, lots of bumps on Walnut Street. Hanover, you come firing down Hanover into a wide road. This is the way to set up this race. There's really no other way to set this up. You can't, to set it up any other way is just asking for trouble. And I think this is, if they're going to draw the tens of thousands of riders, this is the way to do it. And when you televise it on the PCTV network, I mean, my goodness, you're going to draw millions of viewers and millions of Twitter followers.
What about, and this I'm just thinking off the top of my head, that this might be totally impractical. What if you do it all on High Street, put a barrier down the middle, and do like a long, elongated oval? Insane or not?
Oh, I don't think that's insane.
Because then you get more people to be able to see it.
Yep. Yeah, it's an interesting point you bring up. Patrick Jones with the lead on that lap as well. It's an interesting point you bring up because when you think about it, here every 2 minutes, everybody standing here gets to see the racers come by. When you think of the Tour de France, there are people that line up there hours and hours in advance to watch 198 riders go zipping by them in 2 seconds.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's amazing.
So we'll be right back, and you'll get to see more action right after this.
Hey, this car's been around for a while, but it's running great. So am I, Terry Musser. I've been around for a while, and I'm running great. So if you want some experience, somebody that's been there and done that, but still has the energy, you call me. Because I have a team of people, we have all of the networking you need, and we have the knowledge. And you just can't buy that. But you'll get it when you choose Terry Musser and his team. Give us a call. You'll be glad you did. Happy trails.
And we're back, coming down Hanover, coming down onto High Street, crossing King right there, as you saw on your television. It looks like we're going to have a new leader, although there's still quite a ways to go. We'll see who our new leader is this lap. And that is Ryan DeWald leading that lap. He's a Cat 1 racer. Ryan DeWald, interesting story about him. He was the cover boy of the March 2013 Bicycling Magazine. And I got to wondering, is there a Bicycling Magazine cover curse similar to Sports Illustrated?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Is there?
Well, hard to say. Later that year, in the fall of 2013, there were problems. DeWald just thought maybe I'm getting a little bit older. I mean, he's 37, or what is he right now? Not sure that he's even that old. Yeah, he's 37. So he was probably 34 at the time, thought, I'm getting older or whatever. He's starting to feel worn out. But he was wrong. Actually, what ended up happening was he found out that his vision began to affect him. And as things got worse, he went to a doctor, found out he has type 1 diabetes. Yeah, so his levels, his hemoglobin levels were off the charts. And so after 2 days in the hospital, he was released, and he's now watching what he's eating, training as well as ever, and racing as well as ever. Certainly one of the favorites to win this race. So good to see him out here, and an encouragement certainly for all of you battling out there with type 1 diabetes that you can still lead a normal life.
Yeah, but it's frightening it can surface that late in your life, too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And he probably had it for years because he's so physically fit. He probably had it for years and just didn't realize it because he was just able to just kind of suppress it.
Yep.
But imagine what it might have cost him earlier in his career too, in his racing.
Yeah.
So, but good thing that they found it, and that it's being managed now, and great to see him out here racing.
Wow, that was a wide one.
Mm-hmm.
I could feel the breeze on that one.
Oh, and here they come firing down again. Our leader's going to be Stephen Hall this lap. Again, PA Lightning is just running with all sorts of strength up near the front.
Is that the Westchester group?
Yeah, there's the P8 Lightning. Well, that's the group with Tyler Nostine in it. So
Okay.
it's a mixture. It's you almost want to call it the Velodrome group.
Okay.
It's probably a bunch of guys that Colleen Gulick convinced from the Velodrome to come down, form a team, and see if they can win a little bit of dough and give us a little bit of a show.
We did have Colleen down on our end here. I don't know if she came up your way or not. If you see her, tell her to come down. We want to talk to her.
I'll do that. I'll do that. Real nice girl.
She seemed it.
Yep.
Mom's definitely nice, too.
Yep, absolutely. That's Barine West that you see right there. And, running about a half lap behind.
We're about the halfway point of this race?
Yeah, we're at 15 to go. So we are halfway. Here they come around the corner. And, you know, if you're wondering if you're really missing a lot of action, I mean, there's certainly passing going on the roads that we don't have television coverage, but they are narrow roads, and so it's a very difficult place to see like you know, incredible passing, and they are bumpy roads as well. So,
Steve, I was going to ask you, did you notice, are they letting cars through up along like Charlotte Street and Evans or not?
no cars
okay.
are getting through.
I guess it'd be hard when you're doing laps like this.
Yep. Stephen Hall, the bearded wonder, as they call him at the velodrome, opens up the lead quite a bit. And Patrick Jones, number 726 from New Zealand, his teammate. And the field. And David Casale is pulling off. It looks like he may have punctured a front. PCTV Network. Director Constantine J. Tellis bringing you all the action here. The Assistant Director, Olivia Prothera, excuse me.
Good to see Livy back.
Graphics by Carly Tellis. And camera work by Matt Wagner. He's bringing us the action coming down off of Hanover on the high.
I'll tell you, heights don't seem to bother Matt being
Nope,
up there in that truck.
not at all. Tyler Brackville doing the interview cameras.
And being my producer and getting interviews.
Nice. And up in the bucket, Debbie Tellis, beautiful as always, getting a tan today. There's her vantage point, how she sees the race. And somewhere under that tent there to the left, that's where I am. I'm right behind the camera, right at the start-finish line. Beautiful vantage point from here.
Are you in front of the former Very Best Wiener Shop? Maybe.
I am. Oh my word!
I missed that place. That's not there anymore, is it?
It's not.
You know, that's all traditions seem to come to an end at some point. You know.
Stephen Hall is just looking to make a joke out of this race right now. He is so far in front, but there are a lot of good racers in the peloton that would love to get him back. And one of them is Gilbert Gomez. He's the guy you saw push right there at the start-finish line. So a couple riders there going up front, see if they try and narrow the gap on Hall. We thank you for tuning in today. Hope you're enjoying this this coverage of the PCTV network.
Yeah, Steve, you said you could do this every week.
I could. I love calling races.
And I got to say, too, if folks, if you're looking for something to do, go up to the velodrome on a Friday night.
Absolutely.
You will not be sorry. Take the kids. They will enjoy it.
Yep, look for me up there. Say hello. I usually sit on the back stretch up in the upper left corner as you look at it from the start-finish line. Up there with my grandkids. And here comes our leader, Stephen Hall. This guy's hardcore at the velodrome, too. I mean, he runs flat out. But he's definitely not pushing it the way he was before. So the field will close on him somewhat here.
Think he's feeling it, or do you think he's just
Yeah,
backing off a little bit?
I think he's backing off, and I think he may get to the point where if he can't get his legs back out from under him, he may just let the field catch him. He may just take a break and then see if he has something for them later on. But right now, he's opened up, all of High Street lead.
Yeah.
So, you know, good quarter mile. And that's Alan Royak. Mentioned earlier, he had an issue. He went into the pits, got it fixed, and he's back out.
Steve, I'm going to sound stupid here, but to explain to the viewers, why does it seem like they all travel in a pack like that?
Yeah, and it's not a stupid question at all. One of the things in crit racing especially, or in any kind of road racing, is you want to try and stay with the pack because the pack will break the wind for you in the front. You don't have to deal with the headwind. And there is all sorts of physical and mental distress with wind. And so anytime you can get yourself back in the pack somewhere, you don't feel that wind at all. In fact, if you can nestle yourself completely surrounded by riders, you can almost darn near coast your way around the track. I'm being facetious, but it does almost feel like that. I remember the first time I dealt with it, I was riding on a 100-mile ride for the Philadelphia Cycling Club, and a women's cycling team by the name of the Pink Ladies caught up to me and passed me, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna see if I can keep up with them and do a little bit of riding with them, and I caught up to them, and it was like night and day.
So you definitely can feel it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, and there's the adrenaline rush too of being in the pack versus riding alone. You know, when you ride alone, like yesterday, I was riding home in the rain, and a fellow on a bicycle passed me. I mean, he passed me like I was standing still. And it dawned on me, well, there was no reason for me to push myself. He saw me up ahead and he pushed himself and passed me. And so then it became a little game for me to catch back up to him. And so I did, and talked to him, asked him if he was racing here today, and he said he wasn't. I thought if he would be, I'd, get his name and talk about him on the air, but I didn't get his name. And he was heading to Macungie, and I was just heading to Bally. So I rode his wheel for a mile and told him thank you, and we parted ways. And that happens a lot. I ride a lot too. Do about 6,000, 7,000 miles a year.
How many miles was that ride?
That mile, yesterday the ride I did was, I actually came down here to check out the course. So I drove to Douglasville, left a car there, and then I rode down here, so that's 4 miles down to here, rode around the track a couple times, so another couple miles there, and then rode home for another 13 miles.
Wow.
So whatever that adds up to. About 20 miles yesterday.
Wow. And then race today.
And then race today, but that's, yeah. But like I said, I wasn't anywhere near challenging the front.
Hey, I think we have an interview coming up with Colleen Gulick, who has not, like her mom, much like her mom, has not stopped moving the whole day.
All right.
Okay,
So,
Colleen, as soon as this next guy goes by, we'll...
Stephen Hall will zip by, and we'll get Colleen Gulick on there. Talk a little bit about her third place finish. And
your mom won't holler at you if you're slowing down, right? Okay.
if I could get a chance to ask her some questions too, Al, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, do you want to conduct it? I'll put the headphones on her.
No, it's entirely up to you. If you want to do that, I'm more than game. Hey, Colleen, Steve Caravetis here from PCTV Network.
Hi, Steve.
First of all, congratulations on a third place finish. How'd it feel?
Hi, thanks. It was good. It was a challenging race. There was a lot of good girls and a lot of good teams in it. So obviously speed was high, race was good, and I'm happy to have finished on the podium.
Yeah, were you at all surprised at the breakaway and that you guys just couldn't catch up to them?
I was, and there were a few breakaways that went off, and that's always a hard strategy of racing is which ones do you think will come back, which ones are okay to let go, and they were stronger than we anticipated, and it paid off for them. They earned that.
And you've been here all day. I mean, did that have to weigh on you as well, just being out here in the sun and not warming up, not racing, and then suddenly being out there and having to race against all those fine racers?
Oh, of course it did, and it's not obviously not a typical race day for me, but I'm just happy to be out there competing and have a good race.
Wonderful. Colleen, any update on our young ladies who were injured at the end of the race?
As far as I heard, everyone's going to be all right, no major injuries, possibly stitches in someone's finger, but as far as racing injuries are concerned, everybody looks great.
That's a good thing to hear there. You guys excited to think of maybe coming back next year, do this again?
We would love to, and hopefully everybody else, all of our sponsors and the city of Pottstown really enjoyed it, and if they want us back, then we'll be back.
Colleen, thank you so much for all you did to make this thing happen today. Thanks for what you did to get some of these riders from the velodrome to come down, and you know, we're watching Stephen Hall right now just make a mockery of the field.
Absolutely, he's a great rider.
He is the bearded wonder. And so we'll see you in Trexlertown on Friday nights, and hopefully see you back here again next year.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you for coming out.
Thanks, Colleen. So that's Colleen Gulick. She and her mom, Dawn, just did a great job putting this thing on. It's just fantastic. You would never know that it was the first year back. A fine young lady, one that, that my grandkids cheer for often up in Trexlertown. So you know, I don't know, Al. I don't know if they're going to pull Stephen Hall in. I think this is, we may see another breakaway winner here.
Yeah, only 10 to go.
Yep.
Isn't that great when you see a mom and a daughter doing a project like this?
Yep, absolutely. So
Good
it's a
people.
40-second gap right now between Stephen Hall and the leaders. So they need to trim about 4 seconds a lap. You know, certainly not impossible, but they're gonna have to get together and work, see if they can get a team together to do that. And of course, you know, because Hall is racing with PA Lightning, it's quite possible that if PA Lightning can take a turn at the front, that they will purposely slow down the race in order to let Hall increase his interval. So
now, Steve, I got another dumb question. If he wants to break out like that, doesn't he waste a lot of energy? Shouldn't he save that up and go with the peloton and then save it up for the end?
It depends on what he thinks he has. You know, if he thinks that he can break away, and if they've worked out an agreement beforehand that, you know what, if you feel good, go for it, and we'll just run interference for you. We'll try and take turns at the front, and we'll slow the pace down to, you know, 30 miles an hour or whatever, while you're zipping around at 35. You know, this is what these guys train for.
There he is again.
And you see him, he's following the motorcycle everywhere. He's trying to catch any little slipstream he can. And I think that the race marshal saw that and extended his lead a little bit more on him.
So what we have seen is that the bike riders are generally freeloaders, if they can.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, freeload where you can. You know, I felt bad, but then again, I didn't. Freeloading off the fellow from McCungie yesterday. It was like, I was getting a spray of water in my face. In fact, my Dunkin' Donuts bag ripped open and my donut fell out, and it ended up on Route 100. It looked like a pizzelle. You could see the tire tracks all over when I went back to recover it. So it looks like Luke Mudgeway is going to try and do a little something to catch up. But it's really spreading out the field, and some of these guys that are breaking out they're going to wear down. They're going to end up coming back. But as long as you can hang on to the back of the field, there's a chance. There's a chance of finishing the money, and certainly if you can draw Stephen Hall back in, there's a chance to win. But you don't want to be all the way in the back at you know, when you approach his final laps. You want to be somewhere in the top 10, but not first, unless of course you're in first by 40 seconds. We'll get an interval on Hall this next lap here.
And does he have anybody communicating with him like, hey, you're this far in front or not?
Yeah, he probably has people stationed all over the course letting him know how many seconds ahead he is. I didn't get information on whether or not the riders are allowed to wear headsets or anything like that.
And here he comes again.
Yep.
And these laps really turn quick.
They do, and it looks like he does try and follow that motorcycle every chance he gets, whatever he thinks he can grab. So he'll try and get an interval here. And yeah, there he is climbing out of the seat. So he's not switching gears, he's just climbing out of the seat to stand and pedal.
And Steve, are they 10-speed bikes?
Depends. It's an interesting question. We grew up with 10-speed bikes, meaning 5 gears on the cassette and 2 gears on the crank.
Yeah.
Current bicycles have 11-speed cassettes. So when you refer to a 10-speed today, and the interval is 30 seconds, so it has come down a little bit. When you refer to a 10-speed today, you're talking about strictly the cassette. You're talking about the back wheel. That doesn't count the front wheel cranks, which these bikes generally have 2 of those. So you're looking at 20 to 22 speeds as we define them from our heyday of defining a 10-speed.
Yep.
So, but a lot of the gears are repetitive. You know, so 7th gear might be the same as 11th gear. And so there are some gears that you just simply wouldn't use depending on how many teeth are on the crank and how many teeth are on the cassettes. There are little what called corncob cassettes, which are basically one tooth different. So it might be a 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, something like that. So very little difference. And then there are others that have, 34 teeth down to 11 teeth, and the 34 teeth are for climbing hills, and the 11 are for, descending hills.
Does it slow the rider down to shift gears at all?
No, generally not. Right now, most of them shift right off their handlebars. Forget the days of down tube shifting. I actually had a down tube shifter on my bike as well today. But forget those days. These guys don't have to take their hands off the handlebars. They shift into whatever gear they want. That's what every maker is doing today. So there's no removing the hands from the bars. What you see here, though, you see Hall riding on the upper part of his handlebars. He's not using the drops. When you're trying to be a little more aerodynamic, you drop down to the bottom part of the handlebars and try and cut through the wind a little bit more. Right now, all Hall's concerned about is just maintaining his lead. And it looks like he's doing that. It looks like the peloton may just be giving up.
Now, are these two guys breakaways from the peloton?
Yeah, these guys are breakaways right here. And so we have Ryan DeWald and Luke Mudgeway breaking away there. And then the rest of the crew coming through.
As a novice, I just think it's so fascinating, the strategy and the drafting part of it.
Yeah, there's a tremendous amount of strategy, certainly. And, to the naked eye, maybe it's not so visible, but when you see riders with similar jerseys and you realize, okay, they're riding together, you realize that, something's going on. And there's a lot of talking going on. Sometimes there's not so good language going on as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's R-rated sometimes, but it comes with the sport.
So sometimes there is some bad blood?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And these guys get over it quickly, and they shake hands and have a beer, and it's all over. Yeah, Stephen Hall is just making a mockery of it right now. The mechanical lap counter is down right now, so we're counting down the laps manually right now. So the riders are going to have to look at the young lady holding the lap count, showing 6 to go for Stephen Hall. We'll get an interval on him here. Last time we checked in, he was at 40 seconds. See where he is now. Yeah, it looks like he's opened up the interval even more. And when you're riding down like that, kind of forearms on the handlebars, you're tired.
Hey, Steve, real quick, I want to thank Sly Fox for bringing me a beverage.
Oh, they came up big.
They always do.
They
what a
came up
great
big.
place. They have a great product.
Send them
too.
this way. It is a 40-second interval, so there is nothing doing here. Again, not insurmountable with 6 laps to go. Certainly, if somebody can make a push, you got to believe that Hall is tired out there, but with every lap that he leads, he's feeling it.
So what are we down to? 5.5, 6?
Yeah,
6
we're inside of 6 now. So it's been a great race on many levels. Certainly Hall's breakaway has given us something to talk about. There were a lot of lead changes early on before he decided to break away. And some of the peloton's attempts to hunt him down have proven moot.
Steve, I was so happy that they were having this race, especially at the fact that this 4th of July in Pottstown just kind of came and went without any kind of community celebration, and at least we have this.
It did, and it was certainly disappointing for me. I'd called the play-by-play, if you will, of the parade here the last few years, and really enjoyed that. Was looking forward to that. Ride my bike here every year to do that, and when I got news that it wasn't going to happen this year, and certainly no fireworks, it wasn't a very good night for fireworks anyway, but still.
Yeah, it just wasn't the same, man. And this kind of adds some of the luster back.
It does. 5 laps to go. Stephen Hall just took that. We're going to clock his interval here again, but I don't think the peloton is pushing right now to catch him. I think they're just going to be content to race for second.
Wow. He has quite a cushion.
He does. And
Well,
again, the 2 racers chasing him, but
kind of like in the women's race, we had 2 women break away. This way it's just 1. He doesn't have anybody to feed off of.
Right, right. Yeah, he's doing this on his own. This is very impressive. You know, you get out here on a bike and give this a shot. 41 seconds is the interval right now. So Hall has actually extended it on his own. Well, you watch these riders too as they go into the turn here. You'll see none of them are standing. There you have a stander right there. But most everybody else is just kind of content to use their pedals. They're clipped in, so they're able to pull up and gain power on the upstroke as well as the downstroke. Something you and I didn't have when we were growing up.
No.
But you know, we do see Hall as he comes around this corner here. See if he stands at all. Like a slight ascent there. He did not.
Does that take more out of your legs when you stand up?
Yes and no. It certainly exerts a lot more energy because you're building up speed. But on the other hand, it's honestly a much more comfortable way to ride, at least for the time being, unless you stretch the legs a little bit. You know, it's certainly you don't want to climb too many hills if you can help it, and there are no hills certainly on this course. But if you're climbing a hill, I'm a stander.
I guess you have
and there
to.
he is, you know, sprinting right past the line again, standing up. Again, he doesn't want to switch gears, and so he's just staying in that gear, and he's maintaining his cadence, so to speak. He's found a comfortable rhythm, and he wants to keep it. So instead of shifting gears and staying on his seat, he just stands on his seat and keeps the same cadence.
Yeah, I mean, is there a chance he could lap the peloton, or?
There certainly is a chance that he could do that. When that happens at the velodrome, it's very rare, first and foremost. But secondly, it's usually in a points race, and you get all sorts of bonus points for doing that. So we're going to have a little bit of a breakaway here. A couple guys deciding to fire to the inside, so they're going to give it a shot here. Led by the bicycle of Dakota Schaefer. So we'll see if they have anything here with just a handful of laps left. Again, not an insurmountable lead. You know, if they've been saving it up to this point. But it's going to take some serious pushing to catch up. And you know that Stephen Hall is aware of that. There he comes, taking a nice wide turn. They may need a faster motorcycle next year for Stephen Hall, huh?
Stephen probably wouldn't mind like an 18-wheeler getting a draft on that.
Yeah, you see videos on YouTube on that. Those are real videos. That happens. just following a tractor trailer within inches and just coasting at 50 miles an hour.
Wow.
Not anything I've done, not anything I plan to do. I always, when I ride, I always tell myself that there's a little kid watching me.
Good point,
and,
yes.
That little kid is going to want to imitate me one day, and I don't want him imitating that. So I don't do wheelies, I don't ride with no hands. I stop at red lights.
Good point, yep.
Yeah, I think they're content to just let Hall take the first place money, and they're gonna sprint. You know, grabbing a drink there, they're going to just sprint to the finish here. So it should be a tremendous finish.
So what does that mean? That nobody's going to try to break away from the pack?
They're not. They're
Okay.
not. No, they realize now. Right now, it's going to be futile if they try and break away. Whoever tries to break away will lose their legs for the sprint finish. So right now they're just saving themselves for the sprint. They're getting their rider in line, trying to work him into the proper position, trying to get him near the front but not at the front, so that when they come through that final turn on the final lap, that they're able to let the sprinter just go out and do his thing.
So that's where we see the teamwork come into play now.
Exactly. Like I said, not everybody's created equally. Some guys are sprinters and some guys do long distance. and can just ride for hours and hours without feeling it, but they can't do it super fast at the end. And so they get that one sprinter guy at the end to do that. And, you know, it's the team trying to win, not necessarily the individuals.
Well, hard to believe 2 laps.
Yeah, this went quick.
It did.
It went quick, and Stephen Hall made it go even quicker. He's looking back. He knows they're nowhere near him. And he can hear what the PA announcer, Jay Jefferson, is saying. So he's aware of what his lead is.
Steve, where is he from?
Does
it say?
Stephen Hall? No, I don't have that information on me.
Does he sound familiar to you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Colleen would know.
Okay.
He races up at the velodrome all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, he has. He's put up more than half a lap lead right now on these guys.
He killed our drama.
No, there's plenty to go here. Certainly, the
Okay.
race for second is
That's
going to be
true.
amazing.
That is true.
I mean, first is a foregone conclusion, but the race for second is certainly still up for grabs. See the 3 teammates up there running up front.
And we saw a good battle with Colleen.
Oh,
Colleen
absolutely.
Gulick winning third.
Yeah, for third. Great finish there. Coming down here, 2 laps to go. Got the electronic lap counter working again. So yeah, if you kind of forget that Stephen Hall has just made mincemeat of the field, we are going to have a spectacular race for 2nd through 10th, which is where the money pays out. And Hall, his lead has been cut down a little bit, but he's not that concerned about it. I think I just heard Jay say that he's from New Zealand, and I believe that is correct.
Oh.
Yep, I think he is a New Zealander.
Wow, that would be a double for the New
Yeah.
Zealand folks.
A sweep. Bring them over from New Zealand to the velodrome, and then bring them out here.
I'll tell you, she was a real sweetheart. I was happy for her.
Oh, absolutely, me too. And as they would say at the velodrome, everybody say it now, last lap. So Stephen Hall knows that, you know, barring the unforeseen, a puncture, just a crazy mishap, that he has this thing in the bag. And it's almost, for him now, it's almost like the final stage of the Tour de France, where they just start the first 15 miles or so, they just kind of ride like a leisurely stroll. Nobody tries to pass anybody, nobody breaks away. It's just what they've done for years.
You know, you always want to root for the locals, but if I'm Dawn Gulick and Colleen, I got to think the fact that 2 people from New Zealand came to this place to race has got to make them feel good.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So these guys now going into their final lap. So we'll see who can, you know, never mind what you just saw crossing the line. It's going to be all jumbled by the time they get to the end. So this is what they've been saving themselves for. They realized that Hall was no longer an issue for them. So they've been waiting for this part.
Steve, did he race in any of the other previous races or not?
You know, I don't have that information on me.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
I didn't see him. I didn't see him run.
He was not entered by the entry, by the online deadline. And so that's what I have, is my my online deadline. And then they threw a whole bunch of new racers at me, which is great.
So he might have been recruited by Colleen, like you were saying.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure she talked, because the deadline was Thursday. And she would have raced against him on Friday, invited him. You know, Tyler Nostine would have said, yeah, let's go. Let's race together. Let's be a team. It's coming down. What a great feeling. What a great feeling here. Congratulations to the man they call the Bearded Wonder, Stephen Hall.
getting some well-deserved applause.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well-run race for PA Lightning, but we're not done. This is where it's at. Coming down on the high street, down low. Oh,
wow,
my
here
goodness.
they go.
Here we go. As they come down to the finish, it looks like there will be a breakaway for second. And that is Luke Mudgeway taking second. So great finish. And certainly all these guys to be commended, staying within the peloton. Some of them, you know, you look at them kind of finishing here toward the end, and it's not that they were unsuccessful. They probably worked very hard to keep their teammates near the front, and then they just faded off at the back. We'll be back right after this.
Allergies? Carpet One Floor and Home just made carpet installation healthier. Our new Healthier Living installation minimizes dust, mold, and allergens. Better than home centers, it's antimicrobial, hypoallergenic, simply cleaner. Breathe easier. You'll love it. A healthier installation exclusively at Carpet One Floor and Home. Beautiful. Made affordable.
And Steve Karabatis back here with race winner, the bearded wonder from Down Under, Stephen Hall. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
I noticed that you were a late entry into this race, and I'm wondering, did Colleen convince you up at the velodrome to come on down?
Yeah, Colin told us probably about a couple of months ago that there were going to be a race in Pottstown, and we definitely wanted to support it, so we got a couple of guys together, and yeah, we're thrilled that we came out.
When did you decide that the breakaway was the way to go with this one?
There's really big, wide streets, and you know, it was a little bit bumpy down the back straight. And I thought there was a couple of teams, so I just thought if we got the right combination of guys, that the break would be the best option as opposed to a bunch sprint. Yeah.
Noticed you standing up out of the saddle as you were coming down the front stretch here every lap. Did you just find a gear and a cadence that you were comfortable with?
Yeah, I was trying to get the wind right. Felt like in the beginning that there was a tailwind coming up the home straight, but I was out there for a while, so it just seemed like the wind was coming from every direction by the end there. So I was trying to get into a rhythm and just hang on to it. Yeah.
Was it just us noticing this, or did we see you kind of following the motorcycle everywhere it was going, maybe trying to grab a little slipstream off of him?
That's definitely not allowed. No, I was just trying to find the smoothest part of the road. Yeah, there was a couple of good lines, and you know, every lap you try and get a little bit more energy out where you can. You know, try not to hit the brakes through the corners and stuff like that, and try to find the smoothest line. So,
talk a little bit about the difference between crit racing and track racing.
Track racing is a lot shorter. Normally we're only out there for a maximum of 45 minutes on the track, whereas a criterium can go anywhere from an hour and a half or longer. So you're trying to conserve a little bit more energy. You can be try and hide a little bit more as opposed to on the track bike. But yeah, and there's a lot more guys out there as well. A little bit more team tactics and stuff like that. So you got to use your head a little bit more. Sometimes the best guy usually wins on the track, but on a crit circuit, sometimes you can get lucky as well. So you've got to be attentive, and it is different, but at the same time, you're still riding a bike.
Well, it was a New Zealand sweep here in Pottstown, and so congratulations to you, Stephen. When do you head back to your homeland?
I'm Australian, so...
oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. But I'm here for another couple of months. I'll head home in September, but there's still a lot of nice racing. Going to Chicago next week, and then there's a lot of stuff happening on the track as well, so I'll be racing every weekend until I head back home. So.
Okay, well, congratulations to you, and good luck at the velodrome up in Trexlertown. My grandkids will be up there rooting for you again, and good luck the rest of the time while you're here.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Thank you. Stephen Hall, everybody, winner of the men's category 1, 2, 3 criterium race here in Pottstown. We'll be back right after this.